Thank you, Jeff. Yes, the tension you can feel up here even for the start of this senior TT, the first 6-lap race of the week. The minute board there is being shown now. That's just 60 seconds, and they will tick away for those riders very, very slowly indeed. We were talking about the completing a race distance on 6 laps in the old days. I think if memory serves me correctly, Don Crossley did 7 laps in the Manx Grand Prix on an AJS with gigantic panniers on the side, and I think that was the only 7-lap race ever without a pit stop for him.
In the senior, back starting his machine, but in the senior in 57, of course, some riders did 8 laps non-stop, Peter.
That's true, yes, that was an 8-lap race. That was a marathon for them. But now we turn our attention. Simon Beck, eager to get away, bearing the yellow plate with the black number 1. John Stott, chief timekeeper, has the Union Jack in his hand. Looking now, we're coming up to, I think, about 10 seconds to go before the start of the Senior TT of 1998. The flag is unfurled. Simon Beck is staring at it. John Kamani says, please wave that flag and let me get started. And he does now. So Simon Beck away safely. He'll just reach the bridge, and we turn for the signal for number 2, and that's James Courtney. 118 mile an hour the first time out on the 120 miles an hour, I should say, first time out on the bike. Now Simo, number 3, Ian Simpson. He was 3rd last year. He's riding number 3 this year. Will it be win number 3 for him? Number 4 now, Michael Rutter, the 2 Honda Britain, just 10 seconds between them. And Michael, on the longer stretches of the course, should be able to see Ian Simpson in front of him. Now number 5, Bob Jackson. He was 4th last year after doing those 3 laps. The McAdoo Kawasaki 750 that he couldn't ride on Sunday in the Formula 1. He'll give it the welly today. Now number 6, Nigel Davies from Dyfed with the 500 Yamaha. Just listen to this. Now number 7, Jim Moody with the Paget Honda 500, runner-up last year. And another different class of machine, number 8, David Jeffries with the Yamaha R1. The power to these machines, the front wheel pawing the air as they leave us. Now the first of the locals, number 9, Gary Carswell, the Kawasaki ZX7RR, winner of last year's Senior Manx Grand Prix. Number 10 next, Sean Harris with his 250 Yamaha. What a tremendous performance in practice to get that high. 10th fastest overall in practice for Sean Harris. And he crouches down over that bubble. He's away safely. We turn our attention now for number 11, John McGuinness with the 500. And he can't get that front wheel down. He just can't. About 4 wheelies, and eventually the front wheel settles onto the deck. Number 12, Jason Griffiths now. 15th last year, gone for his 750. That wheel stays down a little bit better. Now number 14, Paul Hunt with the Yamaha R1. Yellow fairing, yellow plate, and the black number 14. From Braddon in the Isle of Man, a former senior Manx winner. It looks like a big tank, Jeff, yes. And number 15 now is Adrian Archibald, 11th last year. He's gone for a 900 Honda. So we've got 250, 600, 900s, thousands, a lot, all mixed up. The Sanyo Honda, he gets away. Now number 16, Ian Locker, also gone for his 500. And again, on these 500 twins, when they get away, the front wheel paws the air. And number 17 is Gavin Lee with his 250 DTI Yamaha. Number 18, Alan Batson. Well, with all those injuries, he's going for 9 laps, which is quite amazing in a day. Alan Batson. Next will be Mark Flynn. And I think it's now time for a quick break.
It's a very good read. Superbike magazine. It's a very good read. It's a very good read. Superbike magazine. It's a very good read.
Motorcycle News is the essential weekly read for all bikers. MCN is first with all the sports action, first with the news and biking issues that affect you, first with road and product tests, and MCN is the biggest, best and fastest place to buy or sell a new or used bike. If it's big in biking, it's in Motorcycle News, on sale every Wednesday.
And now a message from Yamaha Phaser riders to the riders of other 600cc street sportster motorcycles.
Let Pirelli Dragon Radials fire your imagination. Pirelli Sports and Sports Touring radial tires guarantee high-speed stability and record-breaking performance. Proven here in '97 when Ian Simpson took victory, setting new lap and race speed records in the Junior TT on his Dragon-shod Honda 600. Fit Pirelli Dragon Radials to your machine and bring fantasy to life.
Well, non-starters, number 18, Alan Batson. I thought he was going, but he's a non-starter. So is number 20, Thomas Montano, and number 24, Ashley Law. Number 25, Paul Deadman, and Chris Heath are away safely. Next will be Richard Britton, number 27. One camera has been handed into the press office. If you've lost a camera, it's at the press office in the grandstand. And now, motorcycle news, Glen Helen.
Yes, indeed, Peter, coming up to 4:40, and Simon Beck should be first on the road. And the senior is underway, and a cracking race. This is going to be in perfect conditions. The sun shining here at Glen Helen. We look back towards the first right-hander, notably the first four on the race programme, with the first four in the Formula One, not quite in that order, but here's Simon Beck now, round the long left-hander, and safely away up towards Craig Willis, and looking to make up for some of the disappointments. It's the Peaches Kawasaki, but there's James Courtney, I suspect. Well, there's not a lot in that, but there is a lot in that, because Simpson's right behind Courtney. Ian Simpson flying round here, winner of the Formula One, and here's number 4, Michael Rutter. So it's Rutter and Simpson. Gosh, I would guess possibly Rutter up on time there. But Simon Beck was well through. Courtney second on the road. Ian Simpson flying around this left-hander, and not far behind that, Michael Rutter. I was about to say, the first four in the Formula One, won of course by Simpson, with the first four on the road. Here's number 5, Bob Jackson on the McAdoo Kawasaki. Of course, Bob, you remember, not out on that, because that race was run on Sunday, the Formula One, so he'll be looking for a good position. So that's the first 5 through on the road now. 1, 2 together, 7 and 8 in that order. Moody, but David Jeffries right behind Moody. So Moody with that tremendous lap and race records this morning, but the man quickest through there without question, David Jeffries, 8th in the Formula One, and we know how well he's been going this week. Absolutely flying round here. It's David Jeffries certainly, who was well up on time on Jim Moody. Just missed that one. I suspect that was Gary Carswell, number 9 on the Kawasaki, but slipped round there behind us. But a great excitement here on lap 1. No, this is Carswell, number 9. So who was 7? No, it must be Nigel Davis then behind Moody, was it? Maybe I had that wrong. I'll have to check that with my timekeeper in a minute. That's 10, Sean Harris, because certainly I missed one of those. But safely through, because it was Gary Carswell as the one after that. So they're all safely through so far. 11 is John McGuinness. But absolutely flying through here. Beck, Courtney, Simpson, Rutter, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. There's Jason Griffiths on the Webb Honda. So that's the highest number to date. Paul Hunt, of course, Big H, running from number 14. We'll shuffle these times in as soon as we can get them, but it really, the pace up front was absolutely brilliant. Road strangely quiet for the moment, but what a sight for the spectators around the course, particularly those first 4. Simon Beck, James Courtney, Ian Simpson, Michael Rutter, absolutely flying through here on lap 1, and 6 laps to go, and of course the only time we're going to get 6 laps this week. Number 14, there's Big H, Paul Hunt on the Yamaha. So he's safely through Glen Helen. Then 1, 2 more interview. First of those is 15, but 16 right behind him. Ian Locker there behind Adrian Archibald. So Ian Locker right up behind the tailpipe there as they go away from us. Quiet again, but Ian Locker safely through as well. But certainly Michael Rutter was flying, so was Simpson, Courtney and Beck. We'll give you the times as soon as we can. But there's another machine interview. This is number 17, Gavin Lee. Gavin on the DTR Yamaha. So in first place at Glen Helen, we put Michael Rutter, the flying Michael Rutter on the Honda Britain. Leads at Glen Helen. Number 19 is next, is Mark Flynn. It's 4 from 3, it's Rutter from Simpson. It's the 2 Hondas jointly, in fact, Simpson and Jim Moody, number 7. 4 from 3 and 7, 3 seconds separate Michael Rutter, who has a lead from Ian Simpson and Jim Moody, who are in joint second place, and 6 seconds ahead of Simon Beck on corrected time. Simon Beck, of course, first on the road, and then in Simon Beck, number 1, in 4th place, 6 seconds down on second place man 3 and 7. Just checking this, number 4, Michael Rutter leads by 3 seconds. As they fly through here, that was 21, that was Bruce Anstey on the Yamaha. 3 seconds the advantage for Michael Rutter over joint second place Ian Simpson and Jim Moody. They in turn are 6 seconds up on fourth place man, number 1 Simon Beck. And Simon Beck just 1 second ahead. There's 23 going through, Blair Daggerholm from New Zealand. In joint 5th place, number 2 James Courtney, and number 5 Bob Jackson on the McAdoo Kawasaki. Number 25 is next. That's one of the locals, Paul Deadman, of course, who had that magnificent 3rd place in the junior, 12th in this race last year. 26 now is another of the locals, Chris Heath. Chris safely round there. Chris, who was 10th last year. So the order: number 4 continues to lead, Michael Rutter, by 3 seconds from joint 2nd place Ian Simpson and Jim Moody. 6 seconds then to number 1 Simon Beck, who's in 4th place, just 1 second ahead of joint 5th place. Numbers 2 and 5, that's 27 going through there, Richard Britton. So that's 2 James Courtney and 5 Bob Jackson in joint 5th place. 3 seconds up on number 12 Jason Griffiths, who's in 7th. 1 second further back on that, jointly in 8th place. Number 6, that's Nigel Davis, and 11 John McGuinness. Then it's 10 and 16 together, but it's number 4 Michael Rutter who leads at Glen Helen lap 1. Over to the Motorcycle News grandstand.
The race coming up should be a right good do, which is a mega coincidence because Superbike magazine is a right good do as well. So pop out and buy a copy, or we'll come round and do you.
Fog. Yes, fog. Even the mighty Kawasaki has no answer to fog. So come, friendly fog, fall on Snaefell. Come, you sworn enemy of speed, you grey destroyer of confidence, you misty puncturer of reputations.
You saviour of the hopeless, you handy excuse.
Mate, I hope you're not unsure of my motivation here.
No, mate, I know exactly how motivated you are. Beer?
Oh, yes.
Profis fahren Arai. Arai-Helme, weltweit die Nummer 1. Holt euch eure Arai-Helme in Deutschland in allen Goto-Helm-Studios. Übrigens, Goto-Helm-Studio und die Freizeitidee bieten super Reisetouren für euren nächsten Inseltrip an. Arai, there's a difference.
Quarter bridge, and we're with one of the leaders. He's turned towards Douglas. There he is in the Strand. He's at Thornton's. He's in. He's out. He's carrying a Thornton's chocolate bike. Iced-free with his girlfriend's name. She'll certainly let him come next year. What a champion.
Thornton's, 19, The Strand. Chocolate heaven since 1911.
Number 67, Yun Maeda from Japan gets away. Additional non-starters we've noticed are number 29, 32, 41, 57, 59 and 64. That's to the moment. That was number 68 leaving, and number 68 Decker Kelly, the local rider on the Aeromega Honda. Number 69 should be next. In fact, that looks like being a couple more non-starters. Numbers 69 and 70 don't appear to be there, but we've got to go ahead of the field to Motorcycle News, Ramsey Hairpin.
Well, interesting listening to the times from Morris, and mentioned that David Jeffries went through, and I would have thought that David might have been shuffled into those positions. We will see, because the race really starts from Glen Helen onwards. The boys just settle themselves down on that 9.5 mile run down toward Glen Helen. Well, we should have the leader on the road, and it should be Simon Beck, and it is. Here he comes, Simon Beck on the Peachurst Emporium, Bathroom Emporium Kawasaki. Neat line, Simon's on the boil, that's neat. Nothing spectacular, but very neat. Is number 3, this is Ian Simpson, then number 2 James Courtney, and number 4 has won Michael Rutter. So Simo has passed James Courtney, and he's about to be passed very shortly also now by number 4 Michael Rutter, and I certainly would not like to decide as to those two as to who was leading. I suspect that it was probably Michael Rutter that is enjoying that advantage ahead of Simo, probably by about 3 seconds, judging by the differential on the circuit as they went through. But James Courtney, well, interesting, out of those 3, 2 on Michelin and 1 on Dunlop. James Courtney running on Dunlop, getting special dispensation to run on the tyre he normally runs. Here's the big tank. Number 5, Bob Jackson. Got a fair amount of weight up top, that high as the centre of gravity, but here's Jim Moody on the 2 strike at the back end, fishtails left, right, and he flicks it into the corner, and he's just a whisker ahead of number 6, Nigel Davis, on the Paget 504, but Moody really is flying. Moody means business, and Moody wants this one, and it is going to be quick. Well, I reckon that Moody may well be the leader on this one. Number 4, Rutter, though, is. Rutter still leads this one. I look to Patrick O'Hanlon, but visually the most aggressive of the riders coming up toward us at the hairpin was unmistakably Jim Moody on the Paget Honda 500 NSR. 8 seconds, Rutter leads Simo. 8 seconds, and Moody just 1 second back in 3rd place. There is number 8, David Jeffries. David on the big R1 Yamaha that he's running in the effectively open class on the mainland, and he leads that with a couple of victories at Alton Park. And here's the next one on the road, number 9 it will be. That's Gary Carswell on the Quacker. Same colours as Simon Beck, that one. And 2 together. Number 11, John McGuinness on the Vimto Honda NSR ahead of the first of the 2 strokes. And that is number 10, Sean Harris. Sean Harris, what a polished axe he has become on that 250. And there, Jason Griffiths, the local man from just down the road. We've just got the top 3 at the moment. Rutter 8 seconds up on Simo. 1 second back is Jim Moody. We can now shuffle in James Courtney as 4th. And James is 10 seconds back on Jim Moody. But that really is close for second place. They could not be separated down there at Glen Helen. We now have just 1 second between Simo and Moody. Well, will it favour the lightweight 500 twin, the run over the mountain, or will the pull up the mountain favour the greater horsepower of the World Superbike 4-stroke? Equal 5th, Becky and Davis. Simon Beck and Jason Davis equal 5th, 2 seconds down on James Courtney. And this is another quick line. This is number 16, and this is Ian Lucker from Roos near Bury on the Vimto Honda Britain NSR 500V twin, number 14 on the, looks to be an R1 of Paul Hunt, then the Sanyo entry of number 13, Adrian Archibald, or I think it's number 15, not 13, normally runs 13, but 15 on this occasion, Adrian Archibald on the Sanyo Honda. And who can we shuffle in behind then? There, we've got the top 6 at the moment as 4 Rutter, 8 seconds up on Simo, number 3, who is just 1 second up on Jim Moody, 10 seconds up on Courtney, and 2 seconds up on Beck and Davis. That is number 19, Mark Flynn on the Suzuki, but he's been, and number 17, that was Gavin Lee on the 250. Well, if Mark Flynn can get that act together, he's got a power unit there, the World Superbike Specification 750 Suzuki, that is geared for 200 miles an hour, and if they've sorted the handling out, then he could come in on the reckoning as we go into the race itself. That's been the problem all the practice week, and in the Formula 1 itself, he said, I don't mind it trying to throw me off on the corners, but I draw the line when it tries to throw me off in a straight line. Jackson is in 7th place, 3 seconds down on Beck and Davis. In equal 8th, it is McGuinness, and number 12, which is Jason Griffiths, and behind them it is Ian Lucker. That's number 22 just going through there, Roy Richardson. So we can recap then. We've got Rutter 8 seconds up on Simo, who was 1 second up on Moody, 10 seconds up on number 2, James Courtney. Then we have equal 5th, Simon Beck, and number 6, Nigel Davis, 2 seconds down on Courtney. As number 21 goes through, that is Bruce Anstey, the Kiwi. That's the first 6 in 7th place, and 3 seconds down on Beck and Davis. It is number 5, Jackson. He's in 7th place, equal 8th place, McGuinness and Jason Griffiths. 2 seconds down on Jackson, and 2 seconds down on that pairing, it is number 16, Ian Locker. Well, we missed 2 or 3 of the riders just going through there as we were looking down to these lower leaderboard placings. Pardon me. And just looking to see where David Jeffries is shuffled in there. Well, he was singularly spectacularly quick visually, but obviously losing some time somewheres on the circuit. In fact, I think he can now be shuffled in. Sean Harris that is now shuffled in what, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, in 11th place. Something like about 11th or 10th position. Is it Jeffries or is it Sean Harris? Well, I can tell you the rider coming up toward me now is number 27, and that is Richard Britton from Enniskillen. On the Schimmel Pizza Supplies Honda, neat line, accelerates away, that distinctive colour coding, that green helmet, and he away out of sight, and all goes strangely quiet here. So no further news at the moment. We have Rutter from Simpson, from Moody, Courtney, Beck and Davis cannot be separated. It is then Jackson running 7th, McGuinness and Griffiths running equal 8th. That's 9th and 10th place then Ian Locker, 11th place David Jeffries, and in 12th place then number 9 Gary Carswell. That's it, first time here at Ramsey Hairpin. We move ahead then to the Motorcycle News Grandstand.
Oh no! That's better. Stay in tune, read Superbike magazine.
I hardly ever see him now. Always out biking, sweeping down valleys, leaning right over like Jason Griffiths. Exciting controlled power, he says. Michelin Sports Radials, I says. Really changed him. I mean, he used to be a bell ringer.
Michelin Sports Radials, because life begins at 45 degrees.
Coming this November, a new box office blockbuster. Pure romance, quick thrills, excitement, even without the rubber and leather. A cast of world-famous stars together for a limited time only, from the 13th to the 22nd of November. The International Motorcycle Show at the NEC Birmingham. Your feet may never touch the ground again.
Additional non-starters, 69, 70, 74, 77 and 82. The lights are on, the bikes are due. Any second now, the leader on the road, will he be leading the race on the corrected time? We look through the trees and here they are, the two of them side by side, three of them. Rutter, Beck, Simpson, as quick as that, and Simpson's overtaking Beck as they disappear from our view. He does it. So it's 4, 3 and 1 the order now, and bringing up here, that's number 2, James Courtney, and he is flying. 161 miles an hour through there for James Courtney on the clock, but boy, were they moving. Rutter was the first through, and he started, let's take a look, he started on 30 seconds. I stopped him at 18:53, so it would have been about 18 minutes and 20 seconds for an opening lap. That's to be confirmed. If that's the case, it's only a couple of seconds. In fact, yeah, Peter Lee's telling me 18 minutes 24. That's only 5 seconds outside the absolute course record. So could we see the absolute record go in the next lap? There's number 7, and that is Jim Moody, and he's followed by number 5, Bob Jackson. This is a tremendous race. An opening lap confirmed for number 4, Michael Rutter, of 18 minutes 23.9 seconds. There's number 6 circulating, and 6 is Nigel Davies. 123.04 miles an hour from a standing start. The lap record is 18 minutes 18.8. He's lapped in 18 minutes 23.9. That's just 5.1 seconds outside the absolute course record. What money would you bet on a new course record at the end of lap number 2? Number 3, Simo, had a lap in 18 minutes 34.5, 121.07. That's number 8 going through. That's David Jeffries with the Yamaha R1. Number 2, James Courtney, lapped in 18 minutes 52 seconds, 119.98. And number 1, Simon Beck, 18 minutes 54.2, 119.75. Just waiting for Jim Moody's time to be slotted in there before we confirm a top 3 at the end of the opening lap. That's number 9, Gary Carswell, and they are really tramping past here. Number 11, and that is John McGuinness. Then it's number 12, right behind him, Jason Griffiths. Number 10, Sean Harris with a little 250, and he has put in a tremendous lap, I would say. So let's look at the leaderboard. Number 4, Michael Rutter, has the advantage over number 3, Ian Simpson, by 10.6 seconds. In turn, Simpson is just 2.9 seconds ahead of number 7, Jim Moody. And Jim Moody also threw in a lap for good measure of 121.55 miles an hour. Then let's take a look at the rest. In 4th place we have number 2, James Courtney, 14 seconds down on Moody. In 5th place, number 1, Simon Beck, and he is just 2 seconds down on number 2, Courtney. And then we have numbers 5 and number 6, and there's number 16, Ian Locker. Let's take a quick break.
It's me, Jamie Whittam, Superbike Magazine. It's a very good read. Superbike Magazine. It's a very good read. It's a very good read. Superbike Magazine. It's a very good read.
The Yamaha Owners Festival, Donington, July 11th and 12th. Come along and meet Mackenzie and Hislop. Try the off-road course, have a go on the mini-moto, see the bands, fill your face at the barbecue, and Yamaha owners get free use of the track. You're at the TT, you must be up for it. The Yamaha Owners Festival...
Apparently, darling, you could buy me a bike straight off the showroom floor that can do 190 miles an hour. Impressive technology, but it doesn't move me until I've chosen a new Endor helmet from FM, because it combines maximum shock absorption with lightness. So, darling, it's no Endor, no way.
Auf der Insel Mann wird ein köstliches Bier gebraut. Wenn auch Sie mit einem Glas oder 2 in Partystimmung kommen wollen, dann denken Sie bitte dran. Lassen Sie Ihr Auto oder Motorrad stehen. Dies ist eine Nachricht von der Verkehrssicherheit und Kingsmead Finance.
Gavin Lee has just gone through, but Paul Hunt, unfortunately, is down in the pits. Jeff?
I think handling problems there.
Yeah, Jeff, we had handling problems this morning, but we've got different tyres on, and I'm missing every apex. I'm going into corners, leaning over, and I'm running wide. And I didn't fancy it for the race, trying to get used to it.
OK, well, that's a retirement then for Paul Hunt. Hard luck after that good 6th place this morning. Peter?
Thank you. So the order is 4, 3, 7, 2, 1, 5, 12, 6 and 16. That's number 22 circulating past. That's Roy Richardson. And just looking for number 25, Paul Deadman, the local rider. We can tell you he's certainly at crunk pneumonia yet, but no times at the moment for him, obviously, as we go now ahead of the field. Who's leading on the roads now? It was great going past here, Morris, at Motorcycle News, Glen Helen.
Yes, it's going to be great here too, because here's the first 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, it is Rutter. 3 and 1. As quick as that, Ian Simpson, Simon Beck. But Rutter leads on the road, leads on corrected time, and obviously he's ahead of Simpson by, the 10-second margin plus a few yards, basically. There's number 2, James Courtney. But those 4, absolutely brilliant. As I say, they filled the first 4 positions in the Formula 1. They're filling 4 of the first 5 because number 7, Jim Moody, probably, I suppose, buoyed by that performance this morning, should be slotting into our 3rd place. So it's still an advantage just over the 10 seconds. It's visual now. It's 10 seconds plus the lead that Michael Rutter has on the road over teammate Ian Simpson. And, what a week it's been for Honda. There's 7, that's the man we're looking for, Moody. Second last year, he's ahead of the road, of course, of this man, Bob Jackson, on the McAdoo Kawasaki. Bob, I think, round about 6th place on corrected time. So, pretty tight, but Moody there obviously ahead of Jackson on corrected time because they were 20 seconds apart, and Moody's now ahead on the road. Number 6, that's Nigel Cap Davis. Great run he had this morning into 2nd place, but it's Michael Rutter who leads by 11 seconds. That's the 10-second starting interval plus the yards on the road. Taste of success, of course, Michael Rutter getting his first TT win this week in the junior, and obviously enjoyed that. I'm sure he wouldn't mind another one. And a blistering pace, 18 minutes 23.9, as we've been advised, 123 from a standing start. There's Dave Jeffries, number 8. Unfortunately not quite on the pace, David. We had him down round about 12th place at the here for the first time after 9.5 miles. This is lap 2. It's 11 seconds that number 4, Michael Rutter, leads Ian Simpson. It's pretty tight for 2nd and 3rd place, just 4 seconds. It was 2.9, I think, slightly extended there. That's 9, 11 and 12. Look at that, round this left-hander up towards Craig Willis. Absolutely brilliant short circuit stuff there. Gary Carswell, John McGuinness, Jason Griffiths in that order, and obviously Jason had the slight advantage there. 10, Sean Harris. Sean looking to make up for the disappointment of his retirement this morning. But it's number 4, Michael Rutter, by 11 seconds from 3, Ian Simpson. Ian Simpson in turn 4 seconds ahead now of Jim Moody. And Jim Moody's opened up a 17-second gap to, there's been a switch here. New 4th place man is Simon Beck. Number 1, he's 4 seconds up on number 2, James Courtney. We make Glen Helen to Glen Helen for number 4, Rutter, 18 minutes 16 seconds. There's 16, Ian Locker on the V-twin, the 500 there, Ian Locker, but he's safely through as well. But there's no answer really to Michael Rutter, 123.04 from a standing start. Well, of course, as we've already mentioned, we only get 1 flying lap, which will be the 6th, so it depends really
Morris,
how much you need to push on.
Just while we have a quiet moment there, we've had an urgent police message. Cregnabar car parks are full to capacity, and there's a long tailback of gridlocked vehicles on the Cregnabar back road. The police would advise against any further vehicular traffic attempting to go to Cregnabar for this race. Paul Deadman, we make it in 16th place, 5 seconds down on the 15th place man. Now back to Motorcycle News Glen Helen.
Yes, thank you, Peter. Well, gridlock on the Isle of Man, there you are. Such is the weather here today, and everybody trying to get out to see this magnificent senior race. There's no gridlock here, and certainly no gridlock for Michael Rutter, with that 11-second advantage over his fellow teammate Ian Simpson, number 3, who's in 2nd place. Let's just refresh where we are. In 3rd place, number 7, Jim Moody. He's 4 seconds down on Simpson, but 17 seconds ahead of number 1, Simon Beck, who's in 4th. Then that's number 17 going through is Gavin Lee. Should also tell you, for those who are listening, that number 15 in the pits there, Adrian Archibald and Mark Flynn, went through whilst you were giving that message, Peter, so no panic about those. 4th place, we've got number 1, Simon Beck. He's 4 seconds up on James Courtney, who is in 5th place, and he's 3 seconds ahead of 6th place man, number 5, Bob Jackson. Jackson in turn 2 seconds ahead of number 12, Jason Griffiths, who's in 7th. 1 second ahead of 8th place, that's Ian Locker, number 16. Then it's 3 seconds further back, number 6, Nigel Davis. That's number 22, Roy Richardson. We haven't had Paul Deadman through yet, but the news for lap 2 at Glen Helen is it's an extended advantage. Michael Rutter by 11 seconds from Ian Simpson. 4 seconds further back is Moody. Then the orders 1, 2, 5, 12, 16, 6, 11, 8 and 19. With that, back to the Motorcycle News Grandstand.
Oh no! That's better. Stay in tune. Read Superbike magazine.
Hello? OK, TT Challenge Day 1. Right, we're here and we've got the right bike.
The Quacker?
Yeah, the Quacker, our matchless noble steed, our untamed beast.
That scares someone like you senseless.
Well, it is untamed, mate, after all.
I saw a girl on one earlier. Tamed hers, all right.
OK, TT Challenge Day 1. Let's road race Kawasaki style.
Don't miss the International Bike Week, the 5th to the 13th of September in Scarborough. An action-packed week kicks off with historic road racing, plus all-star parades the first weekend. Then it's hill climbs, British Championship sand racing, motocross and the Super Pre-Beach Race, rounding off with 3 days of International Gold Cup racing. The International Bike Week Scarborough. Be there!
En tête après le premier tour, c'est le numéro 4, Michael Rutter, 10,6 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 3, Ian Simpson, 2,9 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 7, Jim Moody en troisième. Peter.
Danke, Mavis. Nach der ersten Runde führt Startnummer 4 Michael Rutter mit 10,6 Sekunden Vorsprung vor Startnummer 3 Ian Simpson. Der hat 2,9 Sekunden Vorsprung vor Startnummer 7 Jim Moody. Zurück zu Peter Neal.
Unusual to see on the computer screen a tie for 8th place on that first lap. 19 minutes 0.3 exactly for numbers 6 and 16. That's Nigel Davies and Ian Locker, absolutely tied for that 8th place. 56 circulating past, that's Jeffrey Latimer. In 36th place last year. He'll be trying to go at least a few places better than that. And really, this race is settling down into a real cracker. 123.04 from a standing start. The second and third place men, both over 121 miles an hour. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 riders at 119 miles an hour. Could turn out to be the fastest race ever. At 58, Barry Wood, the local lad, on his 250. As I say, the quickest race ever is certainly on the cards of the Sweatherholds. Let's find out the lead now at Motorcycle News, Ramsey Hairpin.
And they approach, and here comes the leader, and it is then number 4, Michael Rutter. Michael Rutter with his advantage, and Beck is in between the sandwich. The Kawasaki is the Honda filling. It's, 11.72, and Becky really is relishing this. Oh, this is tremendous stuff. You've got the two outer casings of Michael Rutter and Ian Simpson, and Beck is in the middle. Here's the lonely little Petunia here. That is number 2, James Courtney, but that's going to be a wonderful sight for those people up over the mountain. Well, the leading trio will be away now, up through Tower Bend, and on their way up toward that left-hander that approaches up then toward the gooseneck. The trio will then be getting on the power and accelerating, then heading on up toward Guthrie's and then out onto the mountain mile. Well, we had 11.72 seconds according to my timing. The advantage to Michael Rutter, just increased it just a tad. Here's another dicing duo. Jim Moody's there right on the tail of Bob Jackson. Bob Jackson number 5 from Jim Moody, number 7 on the 2-stroke, and the 4, and Jim Moody pulls a rip-off, just leisurely pulls a rip-off with his left hand. Bob Jackson, of course, we heard from Maurice Morsley down there at Motorcycle News Glen Helen, went through, I think, on 6th position on the corrected timings. I think next time around, Maurice, you might just find him as the leader overall, because we're going to get Rutter, Simo, Moody, Beck and Courtney all coming in toward Gasoline Alley to see if they can get the discount stamps as they top up on fuel. And we anticipate that Bob Jackson will go straight through. Rutter, 12 seconds up on Simo, 2 seconds up then on Jim Moody. So Jim Moody has pulled back a little bit. He's pulled 2 seconds back on Simo, although it was a somewhat leisurely exit from the hairpin. But of course, on the TT course, is not on the slow corners you make the time. It's on the quick corners. Here's Nigel Cap Davis, the Welshman. Listen to this. Then number 8, a quick line again from David Jeffries on the R1 Yamaha. But Nigel Cap Davis just unleashed the power and wheeled his way out of the hairpin. And Becky in 4th place, 16 seconds down on Moody, so he's decreased that by 1 second. Moody has decreased his deficit by 2 seconds on Simo, so it looks as if Becky and Moody are beginning to close in just a tad onto Simo, whereas the race leader himself, Michael Rutter, has increased his advantage by just a whisker. Here's a trio. Jason Griffiths, number 12. Number 11 on the inside, John McGuinness cuts through on the inside of number 9, Gary Carswell. Short circuit stuff with a vengeance, and John McGuinness knows all about that, notwithstanding that very stiff right shoulder, the legacy of crashes at Scarborough and at Snetterton just before the TT. There's the leading 250 man, I would think, Sean Harris. and without doubt one of the quickest men around the hairpin section on that Dennis Trollope Racing 250 Yamaha. We had Becky in 4th place. In 5th place then it is number 5 Bob Jackson. He is some 4 seconds down on Simon Beck and just 1 second ahead of number 2 James Courtney. Quick line here from Ian Lucker, number 16, the Welshman, well, the 250 lap record holder, the 125 lap record holder, and he looks as if he's been on this 500 feet twin all his life. He sits on it so neat, does Ian Lucker. Well, it's Rutter 12 seconds up from Simo, number 3, who is 2 seconds up on number 7 Moody. 16 seconds back then we get number 1 Simon Beck, and 4 seconds back we get number 5 Bob Jackson, and rounding out the top 6, number 2 James Courtney, just 1 second down on Bob Jackson. Ian Lucker now comes in 7th place, just outside of the top 6. The action all going to take place down there in Gasoline Alley, and incidentally one of the helpers is going to be Rory McIntosh for Simon Beck, first time in the pits, the sponsor being thrown in at the deep end. I don't quite know what duties they've got for him, just to clean the screen or whatever, but here comes number 19, and this is Mark Flynn, and it looks as if they've still got those handling problems. The EBC brake supported Suzuki, and he ahead of number 15 Adrian Archibald. Well, we can shuffle Jason Griffiths in 8th position for Jason Griffiths. Interesting to note, a few years ago I spoke with Steve Hislop and said, Steve, just work out how many gear shifts you make on a lap of the Isle of Man. And on an RC45 a few years ago, he said 239 gear shifts. Times that by 6, and in a 6-lap race, that's 1,434 gear shifts. Hardly surprising. These boys have sore feet at the end of a TT 6-lapper. Well, have we got any more numbers we can shuffle in there? I think perhaps not. And this is another 2-stroke on the way up to see us here. Number 17 it will be, Gavin Lee. Gavin threatening that this is his last TT. I suspect it will not be. He's had high hopes of winning the 250 event, but the weather conditions were against him, so I suspect that Gavin will be back to do battle at the TT next year, notwithstanding the fact that he and his wife are currently expecting the birth of a daughter later on this year. We had Locker, he's 7 seconds down on Courtney. He's 7 seconds up on number 12 Jason Griffiths, and 8 seconds up on the 9th position man, which is David Jeffries. In 10th place then these boys have sore feet at the end of a TT 6-lapper. Well, have we got any more numbers we can shuffle in there? I think perhaps not. And this is another 2-stroke on the way up to see us here. Number 17 it will be, Gavin Lee. Gavin threatening that this is his last TT. I suspect it will not be. He's had high hopes of winning the 250 event, but the weather conditions were against him, so I suspect that Gavin will be back to do battle at the TT next year, notwithstanding the fact that he and his wife are currently expecting the birth of a daughter later on this year. We had Locker in 7th place, 7 seconds down on Courtney. He's 7 seconds up on number 12 Jason Griffiths, and 8 seconds up on the 9th position man, which is David Jeffries. In 10th place then it is John McGuinness, and in 11th place Mark Flynn. So that looks to be the order, and the numbers then are 4 Rutter, 3 Simpson, 7 Moody, 1 Beck, 5 Jackson, 2 Courtney. In 7th place it's number 16, in 8th place number 12, 9th number 8, 10th number 11, and behind them number 19. So all action this time then down in Gasoline Alley, and we go ahead to Motorcycle News Grandstand.
It's me, Jamie Whittam, Superbike Magazine. It's a very good read. Superbike Magazine. It's a very good read. It's a very good read. Superbike Magazine. It's a very good read.
John, your head's on one side again. Why? To see everything at 45 degrees. You what? 45 degrees. Like when I'm on me Michelin Sports Radials. Just like Carl Fogarty. Tilt your head over then. There's a sweeping right-hander coming up. Ow!
Michelin Sports Radials. Because life begins at 45 degrees.
If you like the sound of this and this, then you'll love the sound of this. With 9 branches throughout the UK, Fowler's Motorcycles bring you the very best new and used bikes, as well as spares, accessories, helmets and clothing. So if you're into bikes, get into Fowler's. See us in the Motorcycle News TT Supplement.
Is there going to be some activity down in those pits? Because I can tell you that the lights came on at Crunknamona 4-3 as quick as that. So it must be Michael Rutter and Ian Simpson absolutely together on the road as they went through Crunknamona. So the activity down there, the Honda crews I see, they're what, about 4 pits apart, I would say, that's all. And a lot of work has got to be done down there. How many times have we said it? Races can be won and lost in the pits, but the Honda crews, they're very slick. And they're going to be in and out before you can blink your eye. In fact, don't blink your eye to miss any of the action in this senior TT of 1998. Looking for the first glimpse of them, 4 and 3 or 3 and 4, could be anybody's guess. Machines, I can hear them, I think. Yes, here they are, down to Jeff.
Yes, here they come. Rutter, of course, has 10 seconds on Simpson, and Simpson has the power jacks here. He may change the wheel just that fractionally bit quicker. Stop in the stop box, the top 3. Beck joins him as well, and here comes in, and that's Rutter. And round him goes Simpson, and past them both goes Beck. And it's Rutter who has the advantage here, but it's the times out we're looking for. A big drink taken there. Simpson's machine has its rear wheel change, but it doesn't look like Rutter's going for that. That's Simpson, new helmet on for him as well. Rutter, and it's Courtney also through here. These are fairly leisurely pit stops, of course, and we're waiting for Moody on the 2-stroke. Seems okay, everybody's all right. Courtney seems to be in control. Long stop, though, for both these machines. And there goes Simpson. And there goes Jackson going straight through as we expected. And he's now gone to first on the road and presumably first in the race, but Moody stalls it in the stop box. But of course it's still Rutter who's leading there and getting away again in company with Simpson. As Moody's helmet is ripped off and a new one lashed over his head. Don't know what happens to his ears, but somewhere they fit in. And lots of 2-stroke fuel needed here to keep this going for another couple of laps. Did we beat 125 average, Peter?
No, slower, surprisingly, 121 miles an hour.
Yeah, holding each other up on the road, that's the old thing. Jim seems okay here though, but it's an agonising wait for this gravity fuel to come up to the top.
Get ready.
Monza fuel cap, bang down and clutch in and bottom gear, lights it up and off he goes. Well, you would have thought that he's right in the back end, going out of the pits there, right like a motocrosser as he knocks it into 3rd gear. Phenomenal appearance there for those at the bottom of the pits, a really good view. He's the rest of the cavalry coming now, and very, very fast. Can he stop this? I doubt it, David Jeffries, but he does perfectly. Wonderful stop. Then Nigel Davies behind him. David Jeffries way down the pits, and there's Cap Davies. He also is in the centre, so get legging, Cannell, and that's exactly what we do down to there to see if Davies will take longer, of course, with the 2-stroke machine. He needs a bit more fuel, but David Jeffries continuing to have a brilliant week here at the TD, takes on a Coke, and the power bike seems okay. Scrutineers check it over now as the next machine is signalled here. What about Davies? He's ripping his visor off here. He hasn't dropped it this time. Seems okay. There's Explo-Safe in the tank there to stop a blow up, and there's Jeffries away ahead of him. Jeffries made a good stop there, and he's well away with that. Then Gary Carswell now, and Jason Griffiths, I think it must be at the top, but Jackson did go through. McGuinness also there with the Vimto V4, V-twin rather. So it's frantic, but Carswell going quite well, but we're only 2 laps into this 6-lap race, and he's Harris, who's going very, very well on the 250. McGuinness then.
I'll get him out. Is that enough? Yeah.
Is that enough? Well, no more will go in, and there's just makes it. McGuinness just made it out as Locker pulled in with his V-twin. So 2 V-twins almost collided there. And this is a screw-top tank on Davies' machine, on Locker's machine. There's Griffiths hammering out, but Harris is going really well. He's ahead of Carswell, and he's only on a 250. And Harris now already away. He's really going for the top 6. Superb. Locker, though, taking a long time to fill this thirsty bike up to the very top. It'll never come up. There's Carswell away. I think there must be a hole in the bottom of the tank here. Locker must be praying, where's the petrol going? But that's the trouble with the 2-strokes. The screw cap goes in now. Tries to get it on the right thread. He doesn't. He cross-threads it. Now it goes. And he pulls the clutch in. Bottom gear. Go, go, go. And that's exactly what he does. As coming into the pits here now is number 19, Mark Flynn. So they're all safely in, but it must have been quite a shuffle. And when Flynn whips in here now, I can safely cross and get the times off Tim O'Hanlon. I'm sure there's been a wholesale shuffle there.
Well, with Bob Jackson going straight through, he has now got a 13-second lead over Rutter. And Rutter has a 5-second advantage over Simpson, and Moody 4 seconds back.
OK, but of course Jackson must equalise out when he stops at the end of the 3rd lap. That'll put it back as it was. and then at the end of the fourth lap, the bikes that have just stopped must stop again. Jackson won't have to and can make up then. I think it could pay off if, of course, he can squeeze the second 3 laps out of it, because filling the tank in modest circumstances, easy time before the race is okay, but doing it at the pit stop and making sure that level's okay is very, very difficult. And we saw him filling it right to the brim. There's 15 now, and that's Archibald. Only a 600, that one, I think. And Mark Flynn also successfully away, of course, and quite a day for these riders with the 2 races. Who's coming next into the pits? Number 17 it is, and that's Gavin Lee, also on a 250. But Sean Harris, well, his dander is really up. Oh, she's a bit spluttery. Gavin's actually only sounds as if it's on one pot, but I think it's just bogged down a bit in the stop box. But he, I would have thought, would have given Harris more of a challenge, but of course he's number 17, so he may be fairly on the pace. But I think Harris, he just seemed to be weaving in and out of all the 750s in the pits. He certainly filled up quickly, and it could be possibly he didn't fill up enough. But we now go on to Motorcycle News, Glen Helen.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. And this looks like the first machine on the road. It should be that of Jackson. It is. So there's 5. So Bob Jackson leads on the road and uncorrected time, but these pit stops are going to make all the difference. There's Ian Simpson. Now, of course, Simpson was behind Rutter on the road, and Rutter's not here yet, so it's all changing. This should be him now. It's not, it's Beck. So Rutter's dropped off a bit there. Rutter's not here yet. He is now, but it's slow. He's coming in. Rutter's pulling in. Rutter is in here at Glen Helen. He's stopping. There's problems for Michael Rutter. The lead, no doubt, has changed. Well, of course, Jackson was holding it, but that was uncorrected time. There's James Courtney going through, and he'll have seen him. There's a problem at the front. He's adjusted it. He's away again. Well, he's off. You can hear it go now. I'll try and find out what that difficulty was. It was very quick to clear, but he was late here. He came in here, and obviously that lead has changed. Well, we say that lead has changed because the lead was already held by Bob Jackson, but it will have extended it. I just missed who that was going through. I think it was probably Moody. It was, in fact, Moody, number 7, so he's safely through. It's all going to... He thought he had... I've got to get a note here. Thought he got a flat tyre, in fact, so he must have felt some handling problems coming up this section through Glen Helen. Thought he got a flat tyre, pulled in here, checked it over. Obviously it wasn't, but clearly he can't be over happy. If he felt he got a flat tyre, he must have been feeling something there with that machine, so problems there. For number 4, Michael Rutter, who was some 13 seconds down on Bob Jackson as they left the pits. But remember, it's all got to be shuffled about. So Jackson should continue to lead. Well, he will, because he was first on the road. There's no question about that. And will this tactic pay off? It may well do. But there's going to be wholesale shuffling again. Jackson, of course, will come in at the end of this lap. And he's going to have to take all the time he can to make sure that he absolutely fills it to the brim to get the last 3 laps out of it, particularly as this hectic pace. There's Dave Jeffries, number 8. So he's safely through, but, well, come on, let's say we've had a bad week. Drama indeed here at Glen Helen as number 4, Michael Rutter, pulls in to check whether he had a flat tyre. It's 28 seconds, the lead for number 5, Bob Jackson, but of course that's over new second place man, number 3, Ian Simpson. This is number 6, Nigel Davis. So number 5, Bob Jackson, leads by 28 seconds from number 3, Ian Simpson. 5 seconds further back on that, number 7, of course, Jim Moody. There's number 11, John McGuinness. But of course the situation is that both Jackson and Ian Simpson have 1 more pit stop each. And that's where we're at. Number 12, Jason Griffiths. Also just having a look at number 4 there, just hang on. Oh, leaving Glen Helen. So number 4, Michael Rutter, as he left Glen Helen, was in 4th place. So that's not as he came in, so let's just repeat that. So number 5, Bob Jackson, leads by 28 seconds from Ian Simpson. There's number 9, Gary Carswell, going through, who's just behind Sean Harris. Just in case we've missed 1 or 2, John McGuinness and Jason Griffiths have been through. One of the battles we're going to look for was the 2 locals, Paul Devon and Chris Heath. They were circulating together. There's Ian Locker on the V-twin. So number 5, Bob Jackson, by 28 seconds from number 3, Ian Simpson. Simpson in turn 5 seconds ahead of number 7, Moody. Moody with a 17-second advantage over number 4, Michael Rutter, as he left here. That he was 8 seconds ahead of Simon Beck, who was then in 5th place. But of course, obviously, he was as he left here, it'd take some time to build up speed, so he's going to lose even more time than that. So Michael Rutter down into 4th place. So it's Bob Jackson who leads. It's the Kawasaki, 28 seconds ahead of the Honda of Ian Simpson. In 3rd place, number 7, Moody, 5 seconds down on Ian Simpson. But 17 seconds ahead of Michael Rutter who stopped here on lap 3. 19, Mark Flynn on the Suzuki. Well, Mark's having a good run. Seems to have got that handling just about right on that Suzuki. Certainly better than it was. And he'll be holding on a fairly high leaderboard position in 6th place. Number 2, James Courtney. That's Adrian Archibald, number 15. Courtney is 5 seconds down on Simon Beck, who was in 5th place. Courtney in 6th. And 13 seconds ahead of Ian Locker, who moves up into 7th. 4 seconds ahead of number 8, David Jeffries, who's in 8th place. And then in joint 9th, we have 11 and 12, John McGuinness and Jason Griffiths. So the news at Glen Helen is that Michael Rutter stopped here, looked at the tyre and proceeded. Number 5, Bob Jackson, leads by 28 seconds from number 3, Ian Simpson. He's 5 seconds ahead of Jim Moody, number 7, with a 17-second advantage to 4th place man now, Michael Rutter. After that, it's 1, 2, 16, 8, 11 and 12 together, 6 and 10 together. With that, back to the Motorcycle News grandstand.
Oh no! That's better. Stay in tune, read Superbike magazine.
Profis fahren Arai. Arai-Helme, weltweit die Nummer 1. Holt euch eure Arai-Helme in Deutschland in allen Goto-Helm-Studios. Übrigens, Goto-Helm-Studio und die Freizeitidee bieten super Reisetouren für euren nächsten Inseltrip an. Arai, there's a difference.
The Yamaha Owners Festival, Donington, July 11th and 12th. Come along and meet Mackenzie and Hislop. Try the off-road course, have a go on the mini-moto, see the band, fill your face at the barbecue, and Yamaha owners get free use of the track. You're at the TT, you must be up for it. The Yamaha Owners Festival, Donington, July 11th and 12th.
Let Pirelli Dragon radials fire your imagination. Pirelli Sports and Sports Touring radial tires guarantee high-speed stability and record-breaking performance. Proven here in '97 when Ian Simpson took victory, setting new lap and race speed records in the Junior TT on his Dragon-shod Honda 600. Fit Pirelli Dragon radials to your machine and bring fantasy to life.
À Glen Helen, en tête, le numéro 5, Bob Jackson, 28 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 3, Ian Simpson. Lui, 5 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 7, Jim Moody. Peter.
Danke, Mavis. Bei Glen Helen nach dem ersten Boxenstopp führt Startnummer 5 Bob Jackson mit 28 Sekunden vor Startnummer 3, Ian Simpson. Ian Simpson hat 5 Sekunden Vorsprung vor Startnummer 7, Jim Moody, und damit zurück an Peter Neal.
Jeff, number 33, I've noticed Joey Dunlop has come into the pits. Looks like a retirement.
I'm afraid so. Too much for you, Joe, was it?
I knew you couldn't stack it, so I decided to back it in.
Okay, so is that it? Have we seen the last of you at the TT, or will you come back?
Oh, I'll let you try and work on it.
Okay, think you will be back?
I hope so.
Okay, let's hope so. 23 wins, but now we catch up with the rest of the action. Motorcycle News, Ramsey Hairpin.
Where we wait for the leader on the road, which should at this juncture be Bob Jackson. Here he comes, so it's going to be 20 plus the gap that he enjoys over. Well, there's Bob, start the watch there, and where is number 3, Ian Simpson. There's Jackson through, 20 seconds, here comes Simo, number 3, the gap is 29, 20, 30, stop it at 31 and a half seconds. So the gap indeed has gone up in favour of Bob Jackson. And here's Simon Beck, number 1. Simon looks comfortable. Has he got the speed though to do anything about the position where he finds himself at the moment? It's all going to change, and it won't become clear as James Courtney goes through, number 2 on the Honda Britain. Let's not forget his sponsors, Peter Robinson and Tilston Motorcycles, that would have been backing him had he not have taken over the factory entry. But 31 seconds we settle on is the advantage to Bob Jackson. So Jackson on those 15 miles from Glen Helen to us at Ramsey Hairpin. Here's Jim Moody, has increased the advantage. There's Jim, he's not easing the pace at all, that's a certainty. Very deep drone. It's somewhat deceptive, the drone. It only revs to 10 and a quarter, 10,250 revs, whereas the 250s would be revving another couple of grand on top of that, 2,000 on top of that. Now here's Michael Rutter, and he's pointing to the front end. He may well be coming in. He's pointing to the front end. I suspect that he's going to come in. It was a thorny bit line around the hairpin as he was indicating. Oh, and it does buck and weave as he got on the power. Well, he's found a hinge from somewhere in the middle of that machine. There is obviously something quite dramatically wrong. Whether the steering damper's gone, but he was most definitely pointing to the front tyre, and I suspect that it's going to be, when he comes in on this lap, it will be an unscheduled stop, possibly for Michael Rutter at the end of what will be lap number 3. Of course, the one we know is going to come in on this lap will be Bob Jackson, and the picture will become totally clear when we get into lap number 5, because Bob will go in and stay out for lap number 4 when everybody else goes in, if you see what I mean, and shake it all about. There's David Jeffries on the Alan Jeffries entry, number 8. We've got 31 seconds then is the gap between first and second. Moody now 4 seconds, and I think that's maintaining, is it? He's pulled back 1 second, in fact, on Simo. He's pulled back 1 second on Simo. He's 25 seconds up on Courtney, with Michael Rutter fading back all the time. Beck is there in 5th place, just 2 seconds down on James Courtney, so it's not such a simple Simon, but a slim line Simon that will be chasing a second, 4th place of the week. 4th in the Formula 1. He was not happy with that, but that's a quick line from John McGuinness. Well, yes, well, may you shake your head, JM. That was an unusual line. It was very, very rapid, and he pulls a huge, huge wheelie as he disappears away up the hill. Well, he almost like riding the wall of death. He used the right outside line and almost the banking on the exit from Ramsey Hampton. A much neater line there from number 12, Jason Griffiths, but I think that John McGuinness was rather enjoying himself there as he pulled the huge, huge wheelie away up the hill toward the Tower Bends. Michael Rutter's faded back to 6th place, 20 seconds back on Simon Beck. 20 seconds back on Simon Beck. There is number 10 as the man I was looking for, in fact, Sean Harris. See if we can't get a flying lap on Sean Harris, and a couple of the boys dicing behind as we look to the times here. It's number 5, Bob Jackson, who has a 31-second advantage at the moment. That is going to be totally negated when he goes into all pits lane. So effectively the leader is Simo, albeit 31 seconds down on Bob Jackson. And we've got Jim Moody then in 3rd place, number 7, 4 seconds down on Simpson. In 4th place, number 2, James Courtney, 25 seconds down on Moody. In 5th position, it's Simon Beck, number 1, and he is just 2 seconds down on James Courtney, but 16 seconds up on number 16, Ian Lucker, with the 500 V-twin. Lucker in turn is 4 seconds up on Michael Rutter, and that is what, 3-6. Michael Rutter faded now to 7th position, and one suspects that he will, by the gesticulations he was giving here and by the fact that he stopped down there by Maurice Morsley, that definitely he will be coming in toward Gasoline Alley for some sort of inspection there. Number 9, Best of Bikes Team Suzuki of Mark Flynn. It was a sound idea, there's no two ways about that. A World Superbike specification engine courtesy of the Harris brothers, and it could have been the biz, but typical. A problem that they've had with the Suzukis is actually getting that power down onto the track. Jim Moody tried it last year. They couldn't do it with the Crescent Suzuki, and unfortunately the Best of Bikes squad have had no better luck this year. But I'm sure that they will be back, and I'm sure that eventually we are going to see the Suzukis being competitive around the Isle of Man. Well, what have we got behind Michael Rutter, who is 7th? In 8th position, we've got number 8, David Jeffries, 4 seconds down on Michael. And behind Michael Jeffries, it is then number 11, John McGuinness. So that is 7th, 8th. John McGuinness now 9th, 5 seconds down on David Jeffries. And in 10th place, then it is number 12, and that is Jason Griffiths. So we're going to see Bob Jackson go in. The rest of the boys are going to go thundering through. It will all change again, and that will the news will come from Glen Helen. But before Glen Helen, we have the start, and we go those 13 miles over the mountain to the Motorcycle News Grandstand.
It's me, Jamie Whittam, Superbike Magazine. It's a very good read. Superbike Magazine. It's a very good read. It's a very good read. Superbike Magazine. It's a very good read.
Motorcycle News is the essential weekly read for all bikers. MCN is first with all the sports action, first with the news and biking issues that affect you, first with road and product tests, and MCN is the biggest, best and fastest place to buy or sell a new or used bike. If it's big in biking, it's in Motorcycle News. On sale every Wednesday.
Happy 45th, Gavin! Change man, that Gavin. No more tooting around with Mum in the sidecar. He's all solo now and never upright.
Taken to drink, eh?
No, to Michelin Sports Radials. Leans like Joey Dunlop.
Michelin Sports Radials, because life begins at 45 degrees.
Are we on? Right. TT Challenge, day 1, PM, everything's going to plan.
Oh, so you plan to drop the quacker off its standing, eh?
All part of the plan, mate. And tomorrow, it's full speed ahead. Man and machine in perfect harmony. The rider's courage tested to its limits.
So you're going to try and start it tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah.
Then let's road race! Kawasaki Styly!
The lights are on for some of the riders, but not, I repeat, for number 11, Bob Jackson. Has it misfired? Has he run out of fuel? Sorry, number 5, my apologies. Number 11 he was, of course, in the other races. This new senior I knew would catch us out once. Retirements, number 14, Paul Hunt at the pits, 15, Adrian Archibald at Sulby Bridge, 34, Nigel Pearcey at Craignabar, 39, McNally at Quarterbridge, and 66, Pete Beale at Bratton. Down to Jeff.
Here's Bob Jackson now, and this is going to be a lengthy stop, and of course we want to time from when Simpson goes through and then when Jackson goes out. I should think Simpson will take the lead back here, but it won't unravel for a while yet. There's Jackson. Stop then. This is going to be a lengthy stop for sure. Pity about Joey Dunlop. There's Simpson going through then. But there's 20 seconds on corrected time as well, of course. Jackson, a new helmet going on here. He's certainly trying like mad to see if this will work. It could do. But it's a long stop and it's got to be absolutely full to get the last 3 laps out. Simpson going down Bray Hill, of course. 20 seconds gone.
31 you were.
Beck and Courtney gone hammering through. Waiting for Rutter, of course, to see if he'll stop also. Here she comes, he's the level coming up, right up to the top now, and a towel goes on to stop it. That's it. Right, cap in, come on, Bob. Oh, he's dithering with the cap. It's not dropped in, now he's got it. He can't get the tank cap to go in, it won't go in. What a menace. Oh, it won't drop, the cap won't drop in. I think you need to turn it, lads. Turn it just a bit. That's it, it's got, oh no, the cap won't go in on the fuel tank, and it's getting away, oh no. It won't go down. It's jammed somehow. The key mechanism in the top of it, which snaps it, locks it shut, has in fact been twiddled, and it just won't go down whatever. Still here, still here, still here. Now it goes at last, but that's a disaster. 70 seconds since Simpson went through, less 20. That's 50 seconds he's down. Oh, Jackson nearly loops it. Going out of the pits, he almost put it right over the top. But we're now waiting, of course, to see if Rutter will even get here, or if he stops and does some adjustments. Of course, he'll have to keep on cracking on for the Manufacturers' Team Award. But what could be the trouble? Could it be the back tyre, in fact, maybe? But it was the front he was pointing to, and there's no sign of him coming in as yet. I'm not sure how all that panned out then. I think I'll leave it to the expert. Tim, what did you read it as?
Well, that's dropped Jackson down to 5th place, 52 seconds behind Simpson.
Well, it was all that cap. The fueling was okay, but the cap would not shut for love nor money. He's a caller now. Is this a late number that's been not exactly lapped but caught? Or is this Rutter? It is Rutter. Rutter's coming in, definitely. It may be a retirement, or it might be possible. Is it the front tyre? He's looking to the left for sure. No, yeah, it does seem... I don't know, really. It's the back. What's going on here? And in fact, the front tyre is being tried to see if it's soft yet. Yeah, it's the front end that's the problem. You got a puncture, Michael?
Yeah, just went down Bray Hill and it just went.
Yeah. Front wheel puncture, they're going to change it, but of course it's nothing like the rear wheel change where you just take it out on the single-sided swinging arm. You've got to take the front spindle out on this one, drop the wheel out, drop the calipers off on the discs. No, in fact, I think they stay attached to the forks, but it's certainly a much more complex operation. We'll get him out after this. From Bray Hill, he got the puncture, so that was straight after the pit stop at the end of the second lap. But Jackson, I think, all that advantage, in fact, has gone out of the window. I can't see him doing it now. In fact, it's virtually impossible. This is on for Simpson, I'm sure. But, of course, Beck and Moody and company will close up now. A commercial break.
Oh, no. That's better. Stay in tune. Read Superbike magazine.
What seems to be the problem?
Well, Doctor, people say I've changed. They've changed, not me. They should get up to speed. Life's too short to go slowly. What's wrong with everybody? They're all so slow. Even you. Hurry up. What do I do?
Have you recently bought a Yamaha R1?
Yes, Doc. It's a beautiful bike. 177 kilograms, 150 bhp. I love it.
Sorry, there's nothing I can do for you. Next.
Coming this November, a new box office blockbuster. Pure romance, quick thrills, excitement, even without the rubber and leather. A cast of world-famous stars together for a limited time only, from the 13th to the 22nd of November. The International Motorcycle Show at the NEC Birmingham. Your feet may never touch the ground again.
Well, at the end of lap 3, Bob Jackson had a lead of 30.7 seconds. That's gone by the board, of course. So the interesting point is that number 3, Ian Simpson, leads number 7, Jim Moody, by just 4 seconds as they cross the line. So they're the times we'll be looking for when we travel over to Glen Helen. Just 4 seconds between number 3, Simpson, and number 7, Moody, with Courtney and Beck following. So just 4 seconds. What will the time differences be now as we go to Motorcycle News, Glen Helen?
Yes, indeed, Peter. Well, it certainly is going to be interesting, and of course they're beginning to mix it with one or two of the later runners. There's just been a bit of an incident up the road from us towards Craig Willis, so the flags are going to slow them down here, but number 72 is here, but who's going to be next? Here's number 3, the Simpson. So Simpson through here, through Glen Helen safely, and well, Jackson, how unfortunate really there with that problem, certainly a total disaster. But, well, let's see just how well it'll go. Remember, of course, he hopefully now won't have another pit stop, so we'll need to shuffle those around, but Simpson's been through. Here's Beck and Courtney together. So Simon Beck and Courtney safely round Glen Helen, so we await the arrival of Jim Moody. Simpson's been gone some time. Here's another one of the later runners. We'll give him a mention, number 83, John Vincent, a newcomer on a Kawasaki. So disaster for Jackson there. There's number 7, Moody, round the long left-hander, so he's safely through. So they should be the first two. Number 3, Ian Simpson, number 7, Moody, safely through here for the 4th time. And, well, another pit stop at the end of this lap, and then we'll be able to see just how the race is going to pan out. Number 84, Christopher Harris, another one of the later runners, and that could affect the timing, certainly. Well, a 6-lap race, absolutely tremendous. Anything can happen. Of course, it's the only time we've had a 6-lap race this week. In fact, the only other 4-lap race was the Formula 1. But here's Jackson now. The charge is on, and clearly he's got to just keep it together, be sensible. There's no point getting irate. The problem, it happened. There's nothing you can do about it. Just keep the race head on and see if you can make any inroads into that lead. But I can tell you that Simpson's lead's been cut to 1 second. Moody just 1 second down on Simpson. So he's pulled 3 seconds back from the grandstand. It's a tight race still. It's Simpson by 1 second from Moody here at Glen Helen on lap 4. We'll shuffle the other ones in shortly. I think James Courtney's probably in 3rd place now. Another machine interview. That of number 8, David Jeffries. 8th in the Formula 1 for David, and going well. 31 seconds James Courtney is behind Jim Moody. 3, 7 and 2, that's the sequence as they go through here, but it's a reduced advantage for Ian Simpson on the Honda Britain. Jackson's in 4th place, 5th place in fact. The order 3, 7, 2, 1 and 5. 6, Nigel Davis. So number 3 leads, that's Ian Simpson by 1 second from Jim Moody. Moody in turn 31 seconds ahead of number 2, James Courtney. Courtney 10 seconds ahead of number 1, Simon Beck. There's John McGuinness, he's having a good run too, we'll slot him in eventually. So Simon Beck is in 4th place, 15 seconds ahead of Bob Jackson, who is now in 5th. 25, 26, 27, 57 seconds. 12 there, Jason Griffiths. So 57 seconds now, Jackson is behind Ian Simpson, and that would appear to be too much. I don't think it'll take Ian Simpson that long in the pits. Number 16, that's Ian Locker on the Honda Britain, the 500 V-twin. One of the later runners now is that of number 86, Bill Boldman, another of the newcomers having his first run on the Isle of Man. So a lot of these later runners now are being lapped, of course, by the earlier ones, the order 3, 7, 2, 1 and 5. In fact, he moves down because Locker moves ahead of him now. So Locker moves ahead of Jackson on corrected time, 9 and 10. That's Gary Carswell with Sean Harris right beside him there. Obviously, Harris up on time on Gary Carswell. So that's been an absolutely disaster for Bob Jackson. The tactics must have been great. They really were spot on. And I think he could have anticipated certainly a pretty high leaderboard position, and we'd have had a cracking race. But we still have number 4, Michael Rutter, ahead there of number 85, Alan Warner. So Michael Rutter obviously made whatever adjustments necessary there in Gasoline Alley. But another pit stop scheduled for these, remember. But it's number 3, Ian Simpson, leads by 1 second from Jim Moody. And Moody, after that tremendous performance this morning, lying in 2nd place and pulling it back. He's only 1 second down. And next time at the pits, it really is, once again, at the end of this lap, going to be absolute action there for Jeff. In 3rd place, number 2, James Courtney, 31 seconds down on Jim Moody, but 10 seconds ahead of number 1, Simon Beck. Beck, in turn, 5 seconds ahead of Ian Locker now. Great performance there, Ian, moving into 5th place, number 16, the highest of the numbers. 5 seconds down on number 1, Beck. 10 seconds ahead of number 5, Jackson, who's now in 6th place. He's 7 seconds ahead of 7th place man number 8, David Jeffries. It's then 11, 12, 6, 10 and 9. But the news is there's just 1 second separating Ian Simpson and Jim Moody, lap 4 at Glen Helen. Back to the Motorcycle News grandstand.
It's me, Jamie Whittam, Superbike magazine. It's a right good read. Superbike magazine. It's a right good read. It's a right good read. Superbike magazine. It's a right good read.
I hardly ever see him now. Always out biking, sweeping down valleys, leaning right over like Jason Griffiths. Exciting controlled power, he says. Michelin Sports Radials, I says. Really changed him. I mean, he used to be a bell ringer.
Michelin Sports Radials, because life begins at 45 degrees.
Most people know the famous TT film, No Limits. But as you ride round the roads, you'll find lots of new speed limits. Please keep an eye on your speed. Slow down in the wet, in bad visibility, and keep your speed to the appropriate limit. This message is brought to you by Kingsmead Finance and the Road Safety Officer.
Au quatrième tour, en tête à Glen Helen, le numéro 3, Ian Simpson, 1 seconde d'avance sur le numéro 7, Jim Moody, 31 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 2, James Courtney. Peter.
Danke, Mavis. Nach der dritten Runde führt bei Glen Helen Start Nummer 3, Ian Simpson mit nur noch einer Sekunde vor Start Nummer 7, Jim Moody auf der 500er. Moody hat 31 Sekunden Vorsprung auf Start Nummer 2, James Courtney. Peter Neal, bitte.
Retirements: 15 Adrian Archibald at Sulby Bridge, 28 Gary Dines, 33 Joey Dunlop, 35 David Morris, all at the pits, 46 Bill Hutchison at the Mountain Mile, 52 Jim Hudson at the pits, number 78 Paul McQuilkin at Wagon and Horses, and Justin Noon and Steve Richardson's number 72 and 80 have been penalised 10 seconds for not stopping in the pit box. Paul Detman, number 25, is up into 15th place now, just 3 seconds down on number 10, Sean Harris, and just another 5 seconds to number 26, Chris Heath. So up into 15th place for Paul Detman. Now Motorcycle News, Ramsey Hairpin.
The battle of the 2 strokes versus the 4 strokes on this one. Simo on the RC45 World Superbike trick machine that was imported especially onto the island from Japan. A couple of boys, back markers coming up towards us. We're just looking there for number 3, and Jim Moody on the Peter Paget NSR 500V twin. Well, can he go one better than he did last year? Jim Moody, 2nd place last year. Jim Moody, can he take that top step? Here's Simo. Here comes Simo. Ian Simpson, the Del BT flyer. Start the watch there. EBC brakes. He anchors up as hard as he can. And long black slicks are being shown on the run up toward us here. It all is, of course, front end stopping power with these machines. It's all on the front end, and the back end just skits left and right and leaves the back slick. Oh, and this is quick then. And this is number 2, James Courtney, not the man we're looking for. This is quick also. This is Simon Beck. Simon Beck running with a thumb operated rear brake. He has a thumb operated left little lever on the left hand handlebar.
Jim Moody stopped between Sulby Bridge and Ginger Hall. We've just been informed Jim Moody stopped between Sulby Bridge and Ginger Hall.
Well, the word drama is used again. That really, really is high drama. Jim Moody, it looks if he's not going to go that one place better, and that really is going to release the pressure on Ian Simpson by a huge amount, because remember, James Courtney down there at Glen Helen was 32 seconds behind Ian Simpson, and Jim Moody, well, what has this boy got to do to win the big one? Certainly bad luck again with the 2-stroke. Whether it was a seizure or anything of that accord, we will not know until the post-race investigations, but 28 seconds now, the differential of Simpson from James Courtney. Well, that has decreased a little bit. It was 32. Here's Bob Jackson, number 5, on the screaming Winston McAdoo Kawasaki with the big tank. And he shakes his head. He's not happy. He shakes his head. So Bob Jackson is not happy. There could be problems here as well. There was a distinct shake of the head as Bob Jackson exited from the hairpin. Well, he's not scheduled to come back in toward Gasoline Alley. He may, of course, go in there as an unscheduled caller, but he was topped up and ready to go to the checkered flag. But obviously now, problems now on the way for the Winston McAdoo entered Kawasaki rider of Bob Jackson. This really is going to throw it wide open. Take Moody out. This is then putting Becky up onto the lowest rung of the podium. Simon Beck, is he there? Yes, he is. 13 seconds down on James Courtney. Simon Beck up into 3rd place as number 8, David Jeffries, goes through ahead of one of the back markers there, number 84. That is Christopher Harris. Chris Harris, number 84. We've got the top 3. Simpson, 28 seconds up on James Courtney. Well, it's a 1-2 at the moment for the factory Hondas. The factory engine in James Courtney's Michael Rutter chassis Honda, and then 13 seconds back the Peacher's Bathroom Emporium Kawasaki of Simon Beck. There is number 6, Nigel Cap Davis. We've not mentioned him too much on the leaderboard with the Peter Paget ex-John Reynolds Grand Prix 4-cylinder machine. We'll see if he now starts shuffling in slightly higher up the leaderboard. John McGuinness That's better, JM. That's the way to do it. That was a better line. It was a classic line on that occasion from John McGuinness. He obviously just outbraked himself that last time. A little bit too much of the old Vimto fizz on his way up toward us here on that preceding lap. And here's a dicing duo. It's Jason Griffiths being chased on the inside by number 16, Ian Locker. Ian Locker looks on the inside and almost gets his nose chopped off by Jason Griffiths. The two Welshmen together there. Jason originally from Pontypool, now living at Ramsey, and of course Ian Locker now living at Roos near Barry down there in Glamorgan. Is it Glamorgan or Dufford? Dufford, isn't it, where he's from? So I'm just looking to see where he will now be shuffled in, which he surely will. Ian Locker, he was running 5th down there at Glen Helen behind Simon Beck, so he, one would assume, is going to move up to 4th with the demise of Jim Moody. And just waiting on Patrick Hanlon to put those numbers down on the bit of paper. Well, the sun is out here, and I'm just looking now for this man here, and it is Sean Harris. Just let's get a time on Sean Harris, and that is 19 minutes 22. 19 minutes 22 compared to the lap record of 19 minutes 13 seconds. I know he was aiming for the lap record in the 250 class was Sean Harris, but that was a 19:22. Perhaps not his quickest lap. He may indeed have got close to Ian Locker's lap record of 19:13. Only a close scrutiny, of course, of the race sheets at the end of the day will tell. Here's Michael Rutter, and he is trying. Well, he may have lost a huge amount of time, Michael Rutter, but that is not deterring him at all. And really, Michael Rutter must think, well, what have I got to do to win the big one, the Formula One, lost by virtue of a wayward contact lens, and then in this one by a wayward, well, what was it? Was it a nail? Was it something else? Was it the valve? Whatever, a slow puncture on the front end that cost a lot of time. Well, it's just as well that it wasn't the Manx radio team that were changing that front wheel. We down at the Stackers last evening in the challenge with Ulster TV, I think we took about 14, well, they were being kind when they said 14 minutes. I actually stopped for sandwiches, sent down to the Imperial for a takeout meal before we actually got the wheel back in. So just as well we weren't helping him. Okay, back to the action. Jackson in 5th place, 9 seconds down on Locker, but 13 seconds up on David Jeffries, who now comes into the reckoning. So 3 Simmons, 28 seconds up on number 2, James Courtney. 13 seconds up on Simple Simon, number 1. 1 second back, though, it is Ian Lucky Locker, number 16. And 9 seconds back on Ian, we have number 5, Bob Jackson. But he is shaking his head. And he is 13 seconds up on David Jeffries. David Jeffries, in turn, 7 seconds up on John McGuinness, who is 9 seconds up on number 12. And that is Jason Griffiths. So that looks to be it for this time. Again, it's going to be action down in pits lane. We shoot ahead to the Motorcycle News grandstand.
Oh no! That's better. Stay in tune. Read Superbike magazine.
Hello? Oh, TT Challenge Day 2. Chris here. I'm just finishing some tweaks that Pete wanted doing after practice.
Oh, you finished engineering the subtle chassis tweaks I designed to boost straight line stability and modify cornering attitude?
I stuck the stabiliser wheels on yet.
They are not stabiliser wheels!
No, they're not.
OK, let's road race Kawasaki style.
They're supermarket trolley wheels.
Darling, there are crazy stunt riders, blokes with very big bikes. After all, who says size doesn't count? Madness, maybe, but it's very silly without the protection of the multi-layer Liftech Vectra 4 that the new Endor helmet from FM gives. So, when it comes to it, darling, it's no Endor, no way.
Be at the famous Oliver's Mount Circuit for the Cock of the North Road Races on the 11th and 12th of July, and pick up advance tickets for the International Bike Week Scarborough. From the 5th to the 13th of September, it's international road racing, it's historic road racing, it's hill climbs, sand racing, motocross, and so much more, plus loads of entertainment. For info, call 01723 500 653.
On lap 2, Sean Harris took the 250 round faster than ever before. It won't, of course, count as a lap record for the 250 class. The lap record for the 250s was 19 minutes 13 seconds, 117.80 by Ian Locker. Sean Harris on lap 2 lapped in 19 minutes 12.5, 117.85. He is now the fastest 250 rider as we go down to the pits, I think, as the action's there with Jeff.
Yes, it certainly is, and he's Simpson, and he's going to have his third wheel of the day. Stops neatly in the stop box now. The pressure, of course, is off. He's ahead of Courtney by 10 seconds and this on the road as he goes for another helmet, and the power tools rattle the back wheel spindle nut off, one wheel off, the other wheel on the hub just as quick as that, and here goes the jacks. Okay. It's Courtney, and here he is. Here's Courtney ahead of Simpson. So that's the lead he has, I would say, about 25 seconds guessing, and here is Beck. Simpson's helmet tightened up now, the pressure is certainly off. And there's Beck whipping in just ahead of the other two. There goes Simpson. Now it's 10 seconds plus what it takes to get Courtney to get going, which is the advantage for Simpson. Courtney, though, going all right. Jackson not out of it yet, and I think shaking his head was only because of what happened at the pits. I can't see him coming in here now. There's the tank cap. This one goes in rather easier. Courtney lifts the clutch. Okay, now I've got 20 seconds on my watch, plus 10, 30. Tim O'Hanlon agrees 30 seconds is Simpson's advantage there. And it was 28, so it's more or less the same. There's Beck. 2 more seconds, Simpson picked up, and that is after the pit stops. That was Jackson going through as I expected, so he may not be out of it. He could still grab third yet, but it was there for the taking, wasn't it? And also for Jim Moody. Well, the Hondas have got it under control now with 1 and 2, but it's the battle for the other places that's the thing, with Beck in third, in and gone. And we're waiting now for Locker to come in. He should be next, and of course he's got the 2-stroke, so he has that longer fuel stop. Philip McCallum there just plucking away, just making sure that everything is working according to plan. But I don't think we've had any other riders yet, Tim, to get Locker. We're still waiting, aren't we?
That's right, but with Jackson going straight through, that's put him back up to second, 19 seconds behind Simpson, and Courtney 11 seconds behind Jackson, and Beck 24 seconds behind Courtney.
Yes, Jackson gone through. It may not all be over yet. It only needs Simpson to hit trouble, and Jackson could still be in. David Jeffries, though, going exceptionally well on the Powerbike R1, and pulls in there as the helicopter goes over. I noticed down at St Ninian's end, but still waiting for Locker. Number 16 he is. As I do agree with Peter, it's difficult to get used to the new numbers. Shouldn't be long, though, as Jeffries is at the pit. Standard pit stop by the looks of it, no panicking. Having a really good week. And he's got one of these funny caps on as well. It was just like your car fuel cap where the key gets jammed. That was the problem. He's number 6 now then. Cap Davies comes into the stop box, waiting also for McGuinness to make his second stop. Jeffries, though, ready to blast off and goes out in front. Davies grabs the front brake. He saw what was happening. He saw Davies coming out across his bows. He's 11 now. McGuinness with the V-twin going quite well, and he's Locker ahead of him. Locker's got to get in tight, whips it in now and jams the front brake on. The back wheel comes off the ground, and he undoes the tank cap, or tries to. Yes, eventually it does. This is a screw cap, this one, but you can cross-thread them. That's the snag with those. The Monza cap is definitely the answer, where you just bang it shut and it clips shut, but they're rather harder to get onto the top of these tanks. Okay, Locker, nice and steady, but this will be a lengthy fuel stop, of course, to refuel the very thirsty 2-stroke, but he looks neat and tidy on it. He's McGuinness. Just whips past my backside there, a couple of feet away, but he'll be laughing at that, I don't doubt. That shifted cannel, he's probably saying. There's Davies safely away as well. Locker's still here at the pits, and Griffiths further back. There's Locker's fuel coming up now. That's enough, he says. Not quite full to the cap, though, but I think it'll be okay. Wipes the tank and he's away. Locker away, and his fellow Welshman Griffiths is at the top end here. Griffiths being pushed off now, and Sean Harris with that wonderful ride on the 250. Shame it won't count as a 250 record, but he's certainly way, way, way quicker than Locker's previous lap record. And he'll want to know that, I should think. The fastest 250 rider ever around the circuit here by Isle Street, Sean. Fantastic.
Excellent. We just got held up by about 15 seconds in Glen Helen by a big crash, so it could have been quicker.
Okay, well, just take it steady and get a good finish now then. Don't chuck all the week's good effort away. Fueling the DTR, Yamaha, and the Yamaha takes over. Here's Rutter now, then in for the 3rd time. Now then, what has happened? This is the fuel stop, of course. You're supposed to turn the engine off. Yeah, he does that all right. And it all seems well now. They check the front end over, not changing the back wheel, and he's Carswell. Carswell into the stop box. This is a routine for Rutter. This is a scheduled stop. Goes out, whoa! Carswell almost hits him T-bones in there, but it just nips in. He didn't see him. You can't see him for the people here. Carswell going for a change of helmet. Kawasaki, Ronnie Russell just putting the juice in here. Gary seems okay. Going nicely, going steady. Drink for him. Very hot work, of course it all is. There goes the water over the side. New helmet, different colour. This one, there's no same design, but already the leading bikes will be getting to Morris Maudsley at Motorcycle News Glen Helen.
Yes, indeed, Jeff. Well, it's all happening again, isn't it? Absolutely amazing. And it's not all up yet, because just looking at it there, Jackson, of course, has the run now, and I suspect it'll be less than the 19 seconds by the time they get here. But, well, we'll know that soon. This is another one of the later runners. The flags are out again here, number 81, Mark Robinson. But here's number 3, Ian Simpson, so he'll have to slow a bit round here. Now, will that give an opportunity? Now, there's 20 seconds on starting difference between him and Jackson. And of course I think Jackson's got a bit of an advantage over Courtney because he's actually behind Simpson on starting time, whereas Courtney was ahead of him, so Courtney can't do anything. He's got to, in fact Courtney I would say is late because he's certainly not here, and I thought they went out pretty well together. 1, 2, 3. So what's it going to be here? 5, Jackson. 73 next round the outside. Number 2, James Courtney, but Courtney's lost a lot of time. He's pointing there. But Jackson certainly very quick through there. Courtney certainly lost a lot of time, I would have thought, on that 9.5-mile run. There's Simon Beck on the Peaches Kawasaki. So Jackson there through, and I would have suspect he has caught up a fair amount of time there. 79, Peter Gustafsson, one of the 2 Gustafssons. And of course the later runners coming through now. 76, Mark Tyrrell, I think he'd been stopped. 80 is Steve Richardson. So let's get that time differential. It's just 9 seconds. That's 10 seconds pulled back. I thought with Jackson going straight through, he would have caught up a bit more time, clearly, because he would be on the run, as it were, with Ian Simpson having set off from the pits. So just 9 seconds. It's not all over for Jackson, that's for sure. Just 9 seconds separate him from Ian Simpson, despite the disasters that he had in the pits. He's got going. He's in second place. There's no more pit stops. It's a straight run now, and it is a lap and 3/4 from here. A lot of racing left yet. There's number 72 through, Justin Noon. So 9 seconds only that Ian Simpson now leads Jackson on lap 5. Then it's a 31-second advantage that Jackson currently holds over Courtney, but we'll have some others to slot in there. Notably, I think we've got Ian Locker knocking on the door a bit there. 31 seconds at the moment of those that have gone through between Jackson and number 2 James Courtney, who had lost a lot of time on that 9.5-mile run from the grandstand at the end of that lap. Number 8, Dave Jeffries, having a good run. He's on the bottom end of this leaderboard, and he'll no doubt slot in somewhere. Simon Beck still there in 4th place at the moment, but 24 seconds down on Courtney. 83 is John Vincent. And of course Michael Rutter, well, problems for him. There have been problems for a lot of these riders. Jim Moody notably another one, and I'm sure they'll all have the stories to tell. But it's Ian Simpson who leads, winner of course of the Formula 1 last Sunday over 4 laps, having won his first TT win I think last year, the winner of the junior, but absolutely brilliant. Number 84 with 11 right behind him, that's one of our John McGuinness, but he's got a bit of a problem there, got to get round Christopher Harris. Number 6 is Nigel Davis, so they'll start to come into the reckoning. But 16, there's Ian Locker, one we're looking for. Ian Locker should be very high up there. He's the highest number certainly of the early runners that we should have through there. Number 3, Ian Simpson's lead reduced to 9 seconds. That's about 10 seconds that Jackson has pulled back on that 9.5 miles. 12 now, Jason Griffiths. Round the long left-hander up towards Craig Willis in beautiful conditions here and tremendous speeds. And Sean Harris, absolutely brilliant performance on that 250. Number 10, we'll certainly keep a lookout for him when he comes through here. So let's confirm it's number 3, Ian Simpson, by 9 seconds from Bob Jackson. Jackson now 31 seconds ahead of number 2 James Courtney, who's in 3rd place, but how long will he hold that for? Because Ian Locker's just 1 second down on James Courtney, so very tight for that 3rd place, and 23 seconds ahead of 5th place man Simon Beck, but only 40 seconds separate the first 4. There's number 10 is Sean Harris. So what lap will he do this time? Well, of course he's been into the pits, so that will be somewhat slower of course, but Sean Harris, brilliant performance on that 250, 170 mile an hour. There's number 4 Michael Rutter, so he's still circulating, but I'm afraid that's all it is really. Michael had those problems from a couple of laps ago when he had to come in here with that puncher, well, certainly the slow anyway, and well, Michael Rutter second in the Formula 1, but he's had a good week certainly with his TT win. I say his first TT win.
He's holding 14th position at the moment, and it's an interesting battle for the locals. 26 Chris Heath in 10th place, 11 seconds ahead of number 25 Paul Deadman. Good battle for the locals.
Yes, absolutely, Peter. They've been circulating as though they were tied together by a string, I think. Anyway, lap 5 at Glen Helen. Number 3 Ian Simpson leads by 9 seconds from number 5 Bob Jackson. Then it's 31 seconds further back James Courtney, just 1 second separating him from Ian Locker for that 3rd place. It's then 1, 8, 11, 12, 6, 10 and 4. With that, back to the Motorcycle News grandstand.
It's me, Jamie Whittam, Superbike Magazine. It's a very good read. Superbike Magazine. It's a very good read. It's a very good read. Superbike Magazine. It's a very good read.
John, your head's on one side again. Why?
To see everything at 45 degrees.
You what?
45 degrees, like when I'm on me Michelin Sports radials, just like Carl Fogarty.
Tilt your head over then, there's a sweeping right-hander coming up.
Michelin Sports Radials, because life begins at 45 degrees.
And now a message from Yamaha Phaser riders to the riders of other 600cc street sportster motorcycles.
Il y a beaucoup de choses à voir dans l'île de Man, surtout pendant le TT. Mais attention aux dangers cachés. Faites particulièrement attention lors des dépassements et assurez-vous que la route devant vous est dégagée. Soyez donc lucide lorsque vous dépassez. Un message de la sécurité routière et de Kingsmead Finance.
Au 5e tour en tête à Glen Helen, le numéro 3, Ian Simpson, 9 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 5, Bob Jackson, 31 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 2, James Courtney. Peter.
Danke, Mavis. Bei Glen Helen in der 5. Runde, Startnummer 3, Ian Simpson. 9 Sekunden Vorsprung hat er auf Startnummer 5, Bob Jackson. Der wiederum liegt 31 Sekunden vor Startnummer 2, James Courtney. Peter Neal, bitte.
Confirmation of number 7, Jim Moody, retired at Solby Bridge. Also a further retirement, number 71, Carl Rennie, has retired at the pits. Quite a few machines being looked at for problems, including 3, Ian Simpson, but he was okay. 50, Paul Orrett, Ramsey to observe him, and John Donald, 51, being observed at Kirkmichael. The leaders now, Motorcycle News, Ramsey Hairpin.
And the sun casting long shadows under the tunnel as we look then for the leader on the road, which should be Simo, 20 seconds between 3 and 5. Moore and Simo leads, and well, it was 9 seconds the advantage down at Glen Helen. Now on the run toward the checkered flag, they'll go straight through on this one, and the only flying lap of the day will be lap number 6. So here's Simo. And all looks okay there with the motorcycle, nothing hanging off, is all strapped together nicely, gets on the gas and away he powers from the Ramsey hairpin for the penultimate time. He's got now something like 50 racing miles to go, 37 3/4 plus the 13 to take him back to start that last lap. We've got 20 seconds then, and it's going to be over that because we're now on to 19, we're now on to 20, and here they come, and here's Bob Jackson. Let's listen to this. He's ahead of James Courtney. Stop the watch then, and there's James Courtney, and it's 26.3, so he's pulled it back. I'm just listening to the exhaust notes there to see that all was okay with the exhaust there. Certainly a fair amount of noise coming, whether it was from Courtney or whether it was from Jackson. It may be the exhaust that Jackson was shaking his head about. I'm not sure about that one. As Becky goes through, no shaking head on that occasion, but the gap has been reduced by 3 seconds. The 15-mile run down from Glen Helen on the lowland, and once they get out up Craig Willis Hill out onto the Cronkivody Straight, and it's that wonderful run then in toward that sweeping right-hander down toward the 11th milestone, and then on toward the 13th and Kirkmichael. Then arguably the most difficult part of the course for the riders, that run from Kirkmichael through Bishop's Court, Alpine Cottage up toward Ballaft Bridge, where at 165, 170 miles an hour, the gyroscopic effect of the motorcycle is to want to go in a straight line, and it takes an awful lot of physical effort to pull the motorcycle left and right. 6 seconds then back in second place, Bob Jackson on Ian Simpson, but 30 seconds up on James Courtney. So that has reduced by 3 seconds the gap up the top, and 1 second between Jackson and Courtney. Well, it's really that gap between first and second place, because if we thought it was all over bar the shouting, Simo put in that magnificent lap, that last lap in the Formula 1 event on Sunday. Well, we know the capabilities of Simo, and we're now getting some sort of an indication of the capabilities of the Cumbrian Express, because he is cutting that lead down, and the time as they go across the start line will be absolutely critical, whether it's going to continue coming down or whether it maintains, because if it continues to come down, this could well indicate some minor problem for Ian Simpson, and that is not taking anything at all away from Bob Jackson, because we know Bob is a tremendously talented rider, but certainly in terms of the power unit beneath them, I would have thought the more sophisticated factory World Superbike engine has the legs on Bob Jackson's McAdoo Kawasaki. However, that remains to be seen, and Jackson will be giving it 110% effort as they go through to start this last lap. We've only still got the top three, Simpson, Jackson and Courtney. Incidentally, going back to Sunday, the Formula 1, when Michael Rutter, and here comes Michael, as Ian Locker, in fact, number 16, that's so quick. It really is neat short circuit. Well, the two 500s together, we've got two strokes together there. We've got Lucker ahead of John McGuinness, followed by Cap Davis on the 504. As up the mountain they go, make the climb up the mountain. They'll be heading on up toward the Gooseneck. And Ian Locker, he really is riding so well. He's rejuvenated. Ian Locker got his first win in the Super Cup this year after some 13 years off of the podium. And Locker now moves up into third place. Locker moves up into third place ahead of Courtney. So all of the investment that he's putting in, the hard work, it is reaping dividends as number 12 Jason Griffiths goes through. The hard work that we see coming from number 16, Ian Lucky Locker from Roos down there near Barry. 3 times a TT winner, 125 and 250 lap record holder. And he now up into third place, albeit 25 seconds down on Bob Jackson, but 6 seconds up on James Courtney. And talking of the 250 lap record, it was just talking with Sean Harris last evening. He said that he just simply wanted to go out today in good conditions and show the things that might have been had the 250 race have been run in dry conditions. That was his pure aim, to show that he would be the fastest man around the circuit in the dry conditions. And here he comes. Well done, Sean, the little Kiwi. He's back to New Zealand after this TT event. He got himself into race shape by, well, was that a wave to the spectators there? I hope it was a wave and not a gesticulation of a problem. He was certainly waving his left hand, and I think to the people on the exit from Ramsey Ep. And here's Michael, and really poor old Michael Rutter. We were saying about Michael Rutter, who effectively lost the Formula 1 event when he had a contact lens come adrift. And it's ironic, really, because the man that won the race was Ian Simpson. And if you remember, I think 94 or about 94, I think it was, that Ian Simpson actually had the same problem. He had a contact lens come out in one of the races. It actually ran down his cheek on a tear. He put his tongue out and put it in his mouth, thinking, I'll save that to the end of the race, but he got so excited and he swallowed it. Well, it put a new dimension on seeing the day out, didn't it? And he never did chase back to find it. He let that one go the course of nature. So it's Simpson from Jackson, 6 seconds. From Locker, 25 seconds behind in third place, but 6 seconds up on Courtney, who is fourth. Becky is fifth, some 26 seconds down on James Courtney. 9 seconds up, though, on number 8, and that is David Jeffries. David Jeffries in the top 6. Behind him, John McGuinness, number 11. 11 seconds down on David Jeffries, and 21 seconds up, though, on Jason Griffiths. So we have 3, 5, 16, 2, 1, 8, 11 and 12 as Gary Carswell goes through to complete his penultimate lap. He'll have 50 miles now to go. Don't think we can shuffle any more in at this moment. Simpson then with a 6 seconds advantage over Jackson, and the interest there, is that going to continue to reduce or is it going to stabilise? We want to hear the news. We go ahead now to the Motorcycle News Grandstand.
Oh no! That's better. Stay in tune. Read Superbike magazine.
Okay, TT Challenge Day 2. I have seen the future, and it's fast.
Where you been for the last 3 hours?
Me and my Kawasaki have been out on the circuit, matey boy. 37 odd miles of hell, of switchbacks and blind crests. 3 hours in search of the perfect lap.
Great, did you find it?
Oh, I didn't go all the way round. Hey, let's road race Kawasaki style-y.
Only a bit quicker, maybe.
Let Pirelli Dragon Radials fire your imagination. Pirelli Sports and Sports Touring radial tires guarantee high-speed stability and record-breaking performance. Proven here in '97 when Ian Simpson took victory, setting new lap and race speed records in the Junior TT on his Dragon-shod Honda 600. Fit Pirelli Dragon Radials to your machine and bring fantasy to life.
We've been informed that number 19, Mark Flynn, came off at the Black Dub and he's been taken to Nobles by AirMed. That's number 19, Mark Flynn, off at the Black Dub, taken to Nobles by AirMed. But now we turn our attention to the lights, which are difficult to see, I'm very glad to say, because that means the sun is shining on them very strongly indeed. So, it was just, 6 seconds between first and second, and 20 seconds on starting time. There's Simo now, he crosses the line. I stop my watch. We have 20 seconds to wait for Bob Jackson to see what the time difference is going to be. It's coming up to the 10 seconds now. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. The 20 seconds are up now. Simpson is still leading. And there's Jackson, and I stopped my watch on 24.7, so 4.7 seconds of difference. Jackson is certainly closing. He's got a lap to go now, 37.73 miles. And Courtney to pass on the road, so can he do it? 4.7 I stopped my watch on. Peter Lees is checking the times. There's number 1, Simon Beck. And yeah, Peter says 5 seconds, so 4.75 seconds. That's still at least a second pullback on the mountain climb and descent. So 169 mile an hour, Courtney, through the speed trap. Quite a, yeah, well, that's not exactly cruising, is it? Number 3, yes, it's confirmed in actual fact as 4.4 seconds. 4.4 seconds between first and second. Simo, number 3, Ian Simpson, 1 hour 34 minutes 55 seconds, averaging 119.25. And number 5, Bob Jackson, 1 hour 34 minutes 59.4 to 119.15. And that is a difference of 4.4 seconds. 4.4 seconds.
I was just thinking, Peter,
yes,
that Courtney's ahead, and of course, if Courtney's smart, he'll hold Jackson up a little bit to let Simpson get away.
Just have the little bit of teamwork there. So, Jackson, though, can he do it? Will it pay off? He almost did it last year, Bob Jackson. He actually took 4th place, but he tried this 3 laps again last year on a tank of fuel, and I wonder was any spilt or anything during trying to get that cap back on, because a spoonful of petrol can make all the difference coming out of the Governor's Bridge dip, because even then, believe it or not, there's quite an incline up Glen Crutchery Road. There's number 8, David Jeffries, the big Yamaha. He's safely through. Who are we waiting for now? Number 6 is indicated at Cronknamona. That's Nigel Davies with the 500. A pitter now. Number 73 coming in for his pit stop. And also number 79 there, a lap down. Of course, on the leaders, we'll take a quick break.
It's me, Jamie Whittam, Superbike Magazine. It's a very good read. Superbike Magazine. It's a very good read. It's a very good read. Superbike Magazine. It's a very good read.
The Yamaha Owners Festival, Donington, July 11th and 12th. Come along and meet Mackenzie and Hislop. Try the off-road course, have a go on the mini-moto, see the bands, fill your face at the barbecue, and Yamaha owners get free use of the track. You're at the TT, you must be up for it. The Yamaha Owners Festival.
Auf der Insel Mann gibt's viel zu sehen, vor allem zur TT-Zeit. Aber denken Sie an die unsichtbaren Gefahren. Seien Sie vorsichtig beim Überholen und überzeugen Sie sich, dass die Straße frei ist. Behalten Sie einen klaren Kopf beim Überholen. Dies ist eine Nachricht von der Verkehrssicherheit und Kingsmead Finance.
We have number 3 then, Ian Simpson leading at the end of lap 5. 1 lap to go by 4.4 seconds from number 5, Bob Jackson. He in turn, we make it, is some 22 seconds down. Is number 16, Ian Locker, in 3rd place, just ahead of number 2, and that is James Courtney. So 3, 5, 2, 16, 4.4 between 1st and 2nd. That's the timing we'll be looking for. And then 22 seconds down is number 16, that is Ian Locker, and then 7 seconds down is number 2, James Courtney. So it's 3, 5, 16 and 2 at the end of lap 5 of the 6-lap senior TT. Then we have numbers 1, 8 and 11 slotting in. So it's 3, 5, 16, 2, 1, 8, 11 at the end of lap 5 with just 1 lap to go. 4.4 seconds separating 1st and 2nd. 37.73 miles to go. Well, it'll be interesting. There's Sean Harris. Well, he's had a record-breaking day, hasn't he? Broke the lap record in the 750 production class this morning, and then has set the fastest 250 ever lap in the senior this afternoon. But now we want to know, is it 4.4, more or less? Motorcycle News, Glenn Helen.
Well, we're going to know very shortly, Peter. This is not the man, though. 62 is one of the later runners, Sean Brown. But this is the race leader, Ian Simpson. So what will his advantage be? He's safely around the long left-hander, lap 6, and on his way, 28 miles or thereabouts for Ian Simpson. But a mountain climb to go yet, and with all the drama we've had in this race, absolutely unbelievable. What a race it's been. So 4.4 seconds, 20 seconds is this difference on starting time. 2 and 5. Jackson's here right behind Courtney. Well, that's going to be interesting now. So what will Courtney's tactics be? They're together. Can he hold him up? It's 3 seconds. 3 seconds that Ian Simpson leads from number 5 Jackson, but he's going to have to get round Courtney. That's going to be some battle. They're on the way now round and up towards the long Cronkerbody Straight, and maybe that's an opportunity for Jackson. I'm sure he won't deliberately balk him there, but it's tricky. Simon Beck's through. So Bob Jackson, 3 seconds. He's consistently clawed back that disastrous pit stop. He's just 3 seconds down on Ian Simpson. Ian Simpson bidding for the double, won the Formula 1 last Sunday. Is he going to begin and end the week on the same winning formula? But his lead has been eroded. It's 1.4 seconds less than it was at the grandstand. 3 seconds and just one more. Well, 3/4 of a circuit. Fundamentally, they've got to get all the way up north to Ramsey, and of course Fred will give us all the action there, and then the mountain climb and down that mountain for one more time. Amazing, really. I don't know whether that's there is a problem there for Simpson. I don't think so, but certainly Bob Jackson's got that Kawasaki hot, and it's going. There's no doubt about that, and without the problems he had in the pit, I suspect by now he would have had a substantial advantage, but he's really got to clog it on, and of course 3 laps out of it. That'll be the next speculation, I suspect, as they come down that mountain. Will the Kawasaki manage to get that 3 laps? Did they make sure they filled it up right with the problems they had with that filler cap at the end of lap 3? But this is lap 6 in perfect sunshine as we complete the week. It's number 3, Ian Simpson, 3 seconds ahead of number 5, Bob Jackson. Some while before we get Ian Locker, who's done absolutely brilliantly to get into that 3rd place with that V-twin Honda Britain 500. And, well, no more machines at the moment. We can tell you that number 2 at the moment is in 4th place. Well, that's what we're speculating, Courtney. There's number 8, David Griffiths. That's allowing for Ian Locker to come into 3rd. Number 1, Simon Beck. So there's not a lot between those. But obviously, number 2, James Courtney, he's circulating together with Bob Jackson. That should be a fine sight for this last lap. Number 81, Mark Robinson, one of the newcomers. Let's hope he's enjoyed his experience. There's Locker. Swings it round. Smoothly around, the very long sweeping left-hander, so Locker's through, should maintain his 3rd place, although I think it's fairly tight, but James Courtney is in there, and of course he'd like a rostrum position, I'm sure. Number 11, John McGuinness on the Vimto Honda. He's had a good run too, and he was holding on, I think, around about 7th place the last time we had a time. I'm sure he's still in there, and yes, it is number 16. There's number 6, Nigel Davis, not quite up with it today. But Locker, yes, is in 3rd place. He's 21 seconds down on Bob Jackson. That's almost the same. I think maybe just a second less than it was at the grandstand. And of course, they do have a lot of the later runners to get round. So number 16, Locker, in that 3rd place. That's Jason Griffiths on the Webb Honda. And Jason, I think he was down there round about, well, I think battling with John McGuinness, certainly for 7th and 8th place, so we'll slot him in. So number 2, James Courtney, he's 9 seconds down on number 16, Ian Locker, and 35 seconds ahead of Simon Beck, 73. Warren Turner, another of the New Zealanders, and 79, Peter Gustafsson from Sweden, this international field. But it's number 3, Ian Simpson from Dalbeattie, Scotsman up at the front, ahead of Bob Jackson from Windermere in the Lake District there, 76. I think that's a change. I think that's Peter Meinhardt. I think that was one of the changes notified to us. Number 80, Steve Richardson, one of the locals. I had a feeling he might have had a penalty in the stop box earlier, I seem to recall, but nonetheless still circulating well. There's another one. There's number 10, that's Sean Harris on that 250 Yam. And he really looks as though he's enjoying that one, and very, very quickly there, Sean Harris absolutely brilliant around the long left-hander there. So let's have a review of the positions. It's number 3, Ian Simpson, by 3 seconds from number 5, Bob Jackson. He's 21 seconds ahead of number 16, Ian Locker. This is the last time. There's number 4, Michael Rutter, the 6th and final time here at Glen Helen. My thanks to Ian Turnbull. After the numbers 16 in 3rd place, it's 2-1-8, 11-12-6. Let's not miss the action at Ramsey. For the moment, it's back to the Motorcycle News Grandstand.
Oh no! That's better. Stay in tune. Read Superbike magazine.
Okay, TT Challenge Day 3. Hey, here's a cool dude on a big old Kawasaki Cruiser.
Morning, mate.
See its polished chrome glisten. Thrilled to the big Q V-twin. Speculate as to who's been occupying the big comfy love pillion, you old dog. Did she want it, mate?
She loved it, mate.
Did you give it her, mate?
Did I give it to her? No, but I gave her a brochure.
Well, in that case, let's go cruising Kawasaki style.
Quarter bridge, and we're with one of the leaders. He's turned towards Douglas. There he is in the Strand. He's at Thornton's. He's in. He's out. He's carrying a Thornton's chocolate bike. Iced free with his girlfriend's name. She'll certainly let him come next year. What a champion.
Thornton's, 19, The Strand. Chocolate heaven since 1911.
Au 6e tour à Glen Helen, en tête le numéro 3, Ian Simpson. 3 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 5, Bob Jackson. 21 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 16, Ian Locker. Peter.
Dankeschön, Mavis. In der 6. und letzten Runde, Startnummer 3, Ian Simpson, nur noch 3 Sekunden bei Glen Helen vor Startnummer 5, Bob Jackson. Der wiederum liegt mittlerweile 21 Sekunden vor Startnummer 16, Ian Locker. Damit zurück zu Peter Neal.
The local battle has changed because Paul Dedman, number 25, has moved up to 10th place, and he is some 30 seconds down on number 6, Nigel Davies, with Chris Heath dropping to 12th place. So Paul Dedman, the leading local rider, in 10th position. We've been told a set of motorcycle keys have been found at the Quarterbridge and have been handed into the shop there. The owner can collect them on producing some identification. That's a set of motorcycle keys at Quarterbridge. Identify them in the shop. You'll be able to start your bike for your journey home. So, what's it going to be? 6 seconds at Ramsey Hairpin was the difference. Then it was 4.4 at the grandstand, 3 at Glen Helen. What's it going to be at Motorcycle News, Ramsey Hairpin?
And we look to be able to tell you that news. I'm sure that over on the mainland, I know that Norrie Lindburn and Tom French, 2 personal sponsors of Ian Simpson, the boys in the workshop will be listening to this. And here comes Simo. And over in Cumbria, of course, and the round of applause for Simo, but it ain't over as yet. And Simo's had his knee down on the deck. He certainly had his knee down on the deck with that right-handed knee there, the slider, pretty well scuffed. Ian Simpson, winner of the Formula 1, son of Bill Simpson, TT winner himself, Bill Simpson. But is it going to be the first ever TT win for Bob Jackson? 20 seconds, and here comes Bob, and Bob's going to hit, but surely Bob is leading. It's stop at 19.8. Bob Jackson is leading by 0.2 of a second. He's got James Courtney right up his exhaust stack, but he took a long, wide line here at Ramsey Hairpin, but I make it 0.2 seconds. Bob Jackson has gone into the lead ahead of Ian Simpson. Well, 13 miles, and these are going to be a nerve-wracking 13 miles for Bob Jackson. Remember, he only made the one pit stop, and it is so critical that was topped right up to the brim. They had the difficulty screwing the cap down on, but have they put enough fuel in there? They don't want it all to go sour just for the want of a quarter of a litre or less than that, because he will get up the mountain, but it's that run down. You can't just coast all the way home. Remember, you get down to Hilbury, and then it is uphill from Hilbury up to Cronknamona and up to Signpost Corner, so you're not home bar the shouting once you pass Brandywell at 1400 feet. But Bob
Simon
Jackson
Beck reported touring at Glen Helen. Number 1, Simon Beck reported touring at Glen Helen.
Well, that just about sums poor old Simon's week up, doesn't it? Simon Beck now out of it, and Simon had been fading away off of the leaderboard. Well, Simon, he's going to come back and he's going to grab a victory, but is this going to be the first ever TT victory for Bob Jackson? And thinking about it, I don't think any of the Jackson brothers, and there are 4 of them that go racing, I don't think any of them have scored a TT victory amongst the family. So there'll be all the boys over there, and all the family will be cheering to the echo on the Cumbrian Express. And is the Cumbrian Express going to take it off of the Dalbeatty Flyer on the factory Honda? Well, Honda, 100 victories. They're looking for 101. Is it going to be Bob Jackson that was so disappointed he was not able to perform on Sunday? Is he out to say, well, this is what I could have done on Sunday, I'm going to do it today? We will see. Of course, he couldn't have gone with the big tank on Sunday. That was the Formula 1 regulations, and he would have been governed by the maximum 24-litre tank on that one. So this ploy is only acceptable in the senior event. Just half a second. Well, Patrick's rounded to half a second. Doesn't really matter, but certainly Bob will have lost a little bit of time. It was split seconds he would have lost because he was way on the outside of the centre of the road white line as he went through the hairpin alongside James Courtney. That was David Jeffries, and what a good TT David Jeffries has had. He really has. 8th in the Formula 1, 8th in the 600, and there's number 16 Ian Locker. Oh, and he's looking down, he's got problems. Locker's got problems. Ian Locker's now got problems. He's looking down right-handed, and that is coughed, is muffed itself up. Is it clearing his throat? He's still looking down right-handed. So drama right to the bitter end. Ian Locker is not so lucky. The Locker's deserted him again, and there's John McGuinness, and John will certainly pass him on the road. He's limped his way out of my sight up toward the tower bends and on toward the waterworks section. There is Cap Davis, but it's all turned sour now for Ian Locker, the Welshman. Surely he's going to be denied on the final hurdle. Locker was in second place, 28 seconds down on Simo and only 2 seconds up on James Courtney, and certainly that has now been negated for sure. Courtney will have gone up into third place for the bronze medal position. Well, the drama on the island continues right in toward the final throws of the final race of 1998, and there is Jason Griffiths going through there. Well, 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 what other dramas are we going to have on this final circuit? And I'll keep my fingers crossed, thinking aloud really. Has Bob Jackson got enough fuel on board the McAdoo Kawasaki to see it into the checkered flag? Or indeed, has Ian Simpson got anything with which he can respond? The 5 times British champion, now 2 times a TT winner. And are we going to see this maiden victory, though, for Bob Jackson? Bob, not the youngest of the competitors out there on the circuit, but certainly one of the most aggressive and one of the most talented riders, a vastly underrated talent who we do not see on the short circuits. 4th place then, we've got James Courtney 2 seconds down on Ian Lucker. That, of course, looks like it may well have changed. David Jeffries in 5th place, albeit 1 minute and 1 second down on Courtney and 9 seconds up on John McGuinness. John McGuinness, who will be riding this machine at the 500 British Grand Prix at Donington Park in July. So that looks to be the tale at the moment, as here comes Sean Harris. Well done, Sean. A round of applause and my congratulations to Sean Harris. He'll certainly be back next year to do battle in the 250, and he, like Gavin Lee, intent on getting a race victory. So my thanks go to Patrick O'Hanlon. The drama is there. And a quick recap, Jackson half a second up on Simpson, ahead of Ian Locker at 28 seconds deficit, but that is all going to change, and we want to hear to what degree it has changed, who is going to get the victory. So for the final time here at Ramsey Hairpin, this is Fred Clark, News at 10, Ramsey Hairpin, handing you back to the Motorcycle News Grandstand.
It's me, Jamie Whittam, Superbike Magazine. It's a right good read. Superbike Magazine. It's a right good read. It's a right good read. Superbike Magazine. It's a right good read.
Motorcycle News is the essential weekly read for all bikers. MCN is first with all the sports action, first with the news and biking issues that affect you, first with road and product tests, and MCN is the biggest, best and fastest place to buy or sell a new or used bike. If it's big in biking, it's in Motorcycle News, on sale every Wednesday.
That was the Senior TT, which we hope you enjoyed. If you did, buy a copy of Superbike magazine, because it specialises in the types of bikes that you've just seen racing. If you didn't, don't, whatever you do, buy a copy of Superbike magazine, because you won't enjoy that either. Can't be better than that, really.
Superbike Magazine. It's a right good read.
Ian Simpson has reached Cronknamona. While we await for his arrival, let me tell you that Chris Heath has been penalised for 5 seconds, not stopping in the box. John Hepburn and Steve Day, 36 and 44, retired at the pits. 56, Geoffrey Latimer, off at Glen Helen, minor injuries. Yun Maeda, number 67, off at Sarah's OK. And Jerome Van Hiltert, number 75, retired at Laurel Bank. Well, about a lap and a half ago, we thought we can throw the stopwatches away because it's going to be a 30 or 40 second advantage for one or other rider. But no, they're out, they're primed, they're ready. 3 and 5 are the ones we're looking for. 20 seconds difference at the start of the race, and that's what we'll be looking for. That's number 65 going through. Simo should be here any second now. The checkered flag is ready for him. And here he is now. Simo, he crosses the line absolutely flat out now. I stop the watch, and we've got 20 seconds to wait to see who's going to win the Senior TT of 1998. At 58 going past at 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds now. Bob Jackson will be hammering down those final few miles. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Simo has won it. Simo has won it. And I stopped my watch for number 5 on 23.75. My timing, unofficial completely, is 3.75 seconds. The advantage for Ian Simpson, and win number 101 for Honda. We'll confirm it shortly, Jeff.
Yeah, but you can't help feel for Bob Jackson what he would have done, but Simpson does it by a couple of seconds. Quite extraordinary, with Jackson 30 seconds at least lost in the pits. But it's Simpson who does it, and what am I going to say to Bob Jackson? I don't know what I can say. I've got a feeling there'll be a petrol cap getting winged across the park here, but it's Simpson who does it. Only just, though.
Yeah, I was surprised here, because at the pits, the lads said I had a bit of a lead, and I asked about Bob Jackson, because I could see him in the distance. But they said he'd retired, so obviously wrong there.
He had a fuel cap problem, which cost him at least half a minute, and he's only 2 seconds behind you.
Yeah, it must have been flying there. I saw plus 30, and then I saw plus 9 with Tony and Jim and that on the pit board, so I knew I had to push a bit quicker in the last half a lap there.
You were down half a second at the hairpin, but look at the blisters on your hands.
Yeah, take a bit of hanging on to the old 750s.
Just made it then.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank everybody that's helped us. Big Colin, Bill, Dennis, Stevie, Norrie and Tom and Darryl, and all the boys boarding for us. There's just so many people, Fiona, everybody else that's helped us, Honda, Michelin. There's just too many to mention everybody, but thanks to everybody anyway.
Okay, well, you hung on a very, very deserved victory, but Jackson is the one. What can we say? I think he's in tears. He's in tears, I'm sure. And on the right-hand side of the machine, the exhaust pipe is hanging off as well. Yeah, the exhaust is loose. He's absolutely gutted, and no wonder. And there's that damn filler cap perfectly in place now. Well, Bob, it was a wonderful, wonderful ride to pick up 30 seconds with the exhaust pipe hanging off as well. I know you're in tears. I feel for you. I feel a bit that way myself. Blisters on the hands, I'll say. Oh, boy. But second place it is. You must be proud of him, even though he didn't quite crack it.
Absolutely. Delighted.
Well, you'd have settled for second, but I know he wanted to win it. But I think of those 30 seconds, most of those were on adrenaline after that damn cap.
Yeah, well, I couldn't believe it when we couldn't get the cap on. I thought, my God, that's all we need.
You were 2 or 3 seconds adrift after 30. You must have lost 30 there. What do you think?
Well, I don't know if it was 30, but it was long enough. And then the bike...
Seemed like a fortnight.
Yeah, well, 40.
40 seconds, they reckon, and you're a couple at the end. But those other 38 seconds must have been just by sheer adrenaline. You nearly turned it over going out of the pits.
I did. I was that angry. I was fuming.
And that's still pumping now, no doubt.
It is, yeah.
But what about the pipe? Did that cost you anything?
Yeah, when the pipe went off, I lost my mid-range, and I thought, oh my God, it's not for me to win here. And then the bike went off song when I went over the top of the wagon and horses. It went right off song, and I thought, oh God, the engine's gone. But it must have just been that much petrol in it just flooded it like so.
Actually, we were wondering whether you'd be all right for Juice to get back for the 3 laps at the rate you were going.
Yeah, well, I thought with exhaust going, it would be running a bit richer as well, so I thought, I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to keep my head down.
This is the Manx Grand Prix all over again, wasn't it, where you couldn't quite crack it, and you transferred to the TD. But boy, you were flying. Did James Courtney, how did he get past him up on Cronkovody?
Yeah, past him, they were stood in the middle of the road waving the yellow flags. I just couldn't slow down, and I went past 2 of them, and I frightened myself because I thought I was going to hit him. But
you're going to get what? Did you overtake Courtney there then?
I just going into the corner there where they were stood with the flags. Yeah.
Well, I hope you don't get done for it, because you're not supposed to pass under the yellow. But nobody heard you say that. Second, fantastic. I feel for you not winning it, but what a meritorious ride. Well done, Bob. Many others would have given that up. So many others would have given it up, but that damn cap wouldn't turn, just like putting your car fuel cap in.
I nearly did pack in, like when I couldn't get a cap on, and then it started missing, and then exhaust went. And, oh God! And I kept at it.
It's a Monza fuel cap for you next year, eh?
It'll have to be, yeah.
Okay. And after all that, who's third, Peter?
We have
James
number
Courtney?
2, James Courtney, yes, in third place.
Just coming here now. Third, James. That's a great effort for you and completes a very good week.
Yeah, happy enough there. Yeah.
Hard going, though.
Hard going.
750 takes some holding. Let's see your hands. Hold your hands out for Daddy. Oh, look at that. Oh, God. I'm sorry I looked at that. Those are black blisters. Make no mistake, this is a physical sport. But you had Bob there on the road, and he was absolutely pumped up like mad because of the time he lost here.
Yeah, well, Bob passed me around Glen Helen section there. He knows the score there. I was stuck behind a slow rider, and I couldn't pass him because of the yellow flag, and Bob come straight by the 2 of us there. I was stuck for long enough behind him, so...
Well, you wouldn't be blocking him because to hold it for Ian, would you? I mean, you wouldn't even know that, probably.
No, that was it. I was stuck behind a slow rider.
Yeah, and he whipped through past the pair of you?
Past the pair of us and the yellow flags, yeah.
Oh, well, let's hope nothing comes of that. I'm sure Bob's the last person to take any undue chances. So, terrific 1, 2, 3 there then for Simpson, Jackson and Courtney. We'll get the rest in a moment. Peter.
Fine, well, Sean Harris has just finished number 10, and he's put a lap in at 19 minutes 14.4, 117.66 on his final circuit. And we've just been told that number 16, Ian Locker, those problems he had at Ramsey Hairpin didn't clear. He's stopped at Keppel Gate and retired, and number 11, John McGuinness, on the other 500, has also stopped on the mountain. So it's making a bit of a difference to the leaderboard, but we have 3, 5, 2 and 8. They're the first 4. In 5th place at the moment we have number 12, Jason Griffiths. Number 4 times coming in all the time. Number 6 is in 6th place at the moment, and that's Nigel Davies. But of course there's still a few riders to finish. Paul Dedman, for instance, number 25, he's indicated as having passed Cronknamona. He was in 10th place, where with a couple going out he could well move up quite a few places there. Number 25, Paul Dedman, we're looking for. I can tell you that number 3, Ian Simpson, had a final lap of 18 minutes 28.1, 122.57. a race time of 1 hour 53 minutes 23.1, 119.79. Surprisingly, no one got near the quick lap that Michael Rutter put up on the first lap at over 123. We thought the course record was on, but it just didn't happen. Number 5, Bob Jackson, had a final lap of 18 minutes 27.4, 122.65. I'm certain that's the fastest he's ever gone round here. A race time of 1 hour 53 minutes 26.8, 119.72. And that's Paul Dedman, just finished now. In third place, James Courtney had a final lap of 18 minutes 28.7, 122.51. That's his fastest ever. And a race time of 1 hour 53 minutes 57.3, 119.19. So the top three all over 119 miles an hour. Back down to Jeff.
Nigel Davies here in 6th position provisionally anyway. A fair run, but I suppose you're a little disappointed maybe.
Yeah, I'm very disappointed. I was going down Selby Street the first lap, and my throttle stuck open, so I was about a foot from going into the field, so I was lucky to stop, really.
OK, but did it give any more trouble then? What was the cause of that? Because normally it recurs once it's started.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it happened once more again, so basically I backed off. I thought I'll go for a finish more than anything. It's been a good day.
Yeah, you're back in one piece anyway. Thanks a lot. Good week for you.
Some money to pay the hotel bill now.
All right, he's Michael Rutter. Michael, not your day.
No, I finished the senior, that's one good thing. You know, it took me 2 years to do it, so.
And fastest lap, of course, on that first lap, 123 odd.
Oh yeah, the bike was going well. I just ate a bump hard, and I think it just punctured the front tyre.
Is it a puncture or the tyre off the rim? Are they tubeless?
I don't know. I think it's just might be the tyre off the rim.
Just a bit of a sealing problem, maybe.
Oh.
And then, of course, you had to come in again because there was no use filling up when you came in to change the wheel because you'd have had to stop again anyway.
Yeah, so it was just you know, we finished anyway, so I'm happy. And
well, you had to keep cracking on for the team prize, of course.
That's it.
Yeah, I don't know what you've got in the end, Edda, there. Got a position yet for Michael, Peter?
Yeah, provisionally at the moment it's 9th.
9th, we think.
All right, brilliant.
OK, there's Gary Carswell in as well. So it's Simpson, Jackson, Courtney, David Jeffries. He's the man of the day, isn't he?
Without a doubt, up into 4th place.
Yeah.
And a lap at 119.74.
Yeah, get him in a second too, and the others were in position A now.
And we have Paul Dedman, we reckon, on the charts at the moment as finishing in 7th place on his 600.
OK, David, we make it 4th there. That's a very, very good result for you.
It's unbelievable, really. I mean, like I said when you spoke to me before it, I said I wasn't expecting anything in the senior, and you know, to finish 4th and at that speed there, yeah, I'm really pleased with that.
119.74 is knocking on.
Certainly is, yeah. I mean, the bike was really good. It was a little bit tricky on the handling. I think it's the slicks that are doing that compared to the treaded tyres of the production bike. But no, the Yamaha one worked really well, and pressed flights who've helped me for the TT. You know, everything's just gone really good.
You'd have probably shredded the road tyres, wouldn't you?
I don't know. I mean, the Metzler road tyres that I used on a production bike or the Dunlop Intermediates, I think they both have worked good round here. But you know, I'm just 4th. I just can't believe it. So.
Well, you're on the way up, just like Tony did before, and Nick and all the rest of the family as well. Just shows you what comes out. You're a bit like the Lemkins in some ways, aren't you? They keep coming.
Certainly do.
Great 4th place, well done. And in 5th position, Tim, Jason. Jason was 5th, and here he is, modest and shy as always. 5th place again, that's 3/5.
Yeah, seemed to be stuck on 5th, this TT, Jeff, but before the race I said I thought if I got top 6 I'd be very pleased, you know, with the level of the competition and the machinery out there. So a fair bit of luck involved, just kept on going, and a few of them fell by the wayside, really.
Well, not so many. You've got to be there. It was a pretty quick pace, really, and Bob Jackson, of course, lost half a minute and more in the pits and lost by 2 seconds to Simpson in the race.
Yeah, so I heard Bob had a very good ride, and but you know, it's good for Ian to win 2 TTs. Very, very pleased for him.
OK, so do you regard that as a good week then? I would for you.
Yeah, just a junior disappointment, really. You know, I felt that was my best shot of the week. And the lightweight could possibly have been a bit better, but you know, that was a lottery with the weather, really.
Oh, well, a few quid in the bank for it all anyway.
Yeah, it's good to get a finish. And
aren't you worn out?
Sorry?
Aren't you worn out?
No, not too bad. No, the middle part of the race I was struggling a little bit, but the last 2 laps went well for me. So no, happy to get a finish and a lot better than last year, as you say.
Sure, and we'll see you tomorrow at Bolan as well. And here's Sean Harris. Well, he's worked miracles today, and if you could have put a lap like that up in the 250 to cakewalked it, but there's too many ifs in there, I'm afraid.
In 8th position at the moment.
8th overall on the 250.
8th overall?
Think so, yeah.
Oh, well, my aim today really in that 6th lapper was to try and break the fastest 250 time ever and come in the top 10, so we've achieved everything. It's all thanks to Dennis Trollope Racing, Morris Oils, Dunlop Tyres, and especially Gary and Sheila Radcliffe here from the Isle of Man. They've done a fantastic job for me and really appreciate it.
Well, I didn't know whether you wanted to know that information I shouted to you at the pits, but as you were so keen on the 750 Proddy lap record, I thought I'd tell you 117.85.
Oh, that's fantastic. So we've got two unofficial official track records in one day. That's awesome.
Yeah, we can't count it as a 250 lap record, regrettably, because it's not in the 250 race, but we'll remember.
Doesn't really matter. It's a moral victory for me after the week I've had. I'm pleased. I'm really happy with that.
Okay, a great week for you, and will you come back and try and win the lightweight next year?
I'll be coming back next year if I can organise all the right equipment to do it properly. From now on, I'm not riding anything here that I don't 100% believe I can win on. I think I've proven that this year. So, yep, I'll put the package together and hopefully I'll be back.
And that will include the Yamaha, because if it goes like that, you must have faith in that.
Well, yeah, I honestly believe that I can actually go quite a bit quicker on it because we got held up with a lot of slow traffic then. So I reckon there's another 7 or 8 seconds.
All right, well, I'll believe you. You're never satisfied, these fellas. All right, well done, Sean. And 8th overall then, so Paul Deadman we need is next, and Michael Rutter we've had. So Paul Deadman, where's he? Not here, in fact. The bike's here, but he's done a runner. He's Gary Carswell though, so let's get the local interest worked up on that. He must be getting close to the top 10, Peter, yes? No?
Yeah, we've got him at the moment as in 15th position.
No, 15th, I'm afraid, right? Well, that's still pretty good, but...
must have been a problem on the last lap.
Did he have some trouble on the last lap?
Yeah, the steering damper burst just coming through the grandstand, and I had a huge wave on Bray Hill, so I thought I had a flat tyre at first, but then all the oil went all over the screen, and my visor, I couldn't see a thing on the last lap.
So the hydraulics on the damper went and chucked that all over the screen then?
Yeah, so I was struggling to see where I was going on that last lap.
Must have been interesting trying to hold it in all at top speed with no damper.
Yeah, I really had to sort of tour around as fast as I could on the last lap just to get a finish.
Only somebody like you would bother because they're unrideable without, aren't they?
Yeah, it's the first finish I've had this week, so at least I got there in the end.
Well, we never asked you about the problems in the Formula 1 because you were in the top 6 there going well. What actually stopped you? Was it ignition or something?
Yeah, there was gearbox problems at first, and then the clutch finally let go on the last lap.
Sounded funny going through the grandstand here the lap before you retired. I couldn't work it out what it was because there was somebody right behind you, but I definitely noticed it didn't sound right, so that must have been the gears jumping and the clutch.
Yeah, I was just trying to get it into top gear, coming through the grandstand, it wouldn't go in. Took 3 attempts, so it was playing up for most of the race.
Oh, well, you've dropped back a few places there, but a good week. It just shows you what you can do up from the Grand Prix.
Yeah, it's nice to finish a race, Jeff. Thanks.
OK, well, we'll see if we can get you a replica tonight. Well, it's not, in fact, tonight. It'll be later today, the presentation at the back of the grandstand. Gavin Lee and Richard Britton here, boy, they look, well, not whacked, but they certainly have been riding a very physical effort. Richard, you have a good run there?
I think the last lap was the quickest lap, but I'm knackered.
Yeah, 600 you were on though, so you couldn't quite keep up the pace, but it was a good ride. Big tank on it.
Oh, a very big tank, but it wasn't too bad. You know, handling wise it was okay, but...
Give you 15th place, I think.
15th?
Think so.
Gee,
happy with that?
Very much. Very happy.
Okay, that's you win 3 and 11 for that.
What?
3. You're too young to know what 3 and 11 was. 20p, I think it is, isn't it? And Gavin Lee and Gary Radcliffe, tribute being paid to you there by Sean Harris. What a ride on a 250. I mean, you've done this, so you know what's involved.
Yeah, it was a good one. It made up for Monday, really. We slipped up a bit on Monday, just one bit of duct tape, and we had a cold seizure. But today it was all worth it. Worked hard for it. It was good.
You needed to bring the temperature up by putting tape on the radiator, did you?
Yeah, that's what we had to do today. So we ran a little bit rich today. We thought we'd better get the finish. It's been a hard fortnight, and I'm glad for Sean, really. He's come a long way, and that's what he was here for.
He says he could go even quicker, and of course you're now saying the motor was slightly held back by that.
Yeah, I think there's more into it too. And I think Dennis has got a few more tricks up the sleeve too with the motors and what have you. This year we just really concentrate on getting the handling right, and the motors are running good, and we ran them rich. So we're still got more to come.
Okay, 117 and a 250, eh?
Yeah, I think 120 next year, no problem.
Okay, I don't want to be on the road when he goes past doing that. Where'd we get to, Tim? That's about the top 10 as we've got declared, Peter.
Yeah, I think it is. 10th place, number 37. That was Alan Benalik, and after the collarbone injuries he's had, that's a good ride for him to get 10th place.
Adrian Archibald is here, and he gets a Suzuki back. Unfortunately, Mark Flynn has come to grief at the Black Dub, but Adrian, that's a hard, long week by.
That's all right. Dead on.
You've got another 6 days to wait till the 150 at Dundrod next week.
I'm out tomorrow again at Castletown, so.
Oh, good on you. Do you have a good ride there then?
I like that.
All right. Fast pace at the front though.
Oh, I would say it was all right.
Okay, well, thanks for all you've done. You've entertained us well all week there, and he's Gavin Lee. All right then.
All right.
Didn't quite make best 250, but a good shot.
Oh, it's not so bad, you know. It's not really incentive if you can't win the race, you know. So I just went and had a good ride, whereas the 250 race was not exactly what I'd call a good ride.
This fella here goes pretty quick on a 250, 117.
Yeah, he certainly did. He got his finger out, didn't he?
Yeah, Sean Harris walks away there well satisfied with that. So that's TT again over. All right?
Yeah, see what happens.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Okay, you're only a young fella yet. Well, in case this happens to be the last transmission, my thanks to Tim O'Hanlon, who's worked tirelessly throughout the week here and has been a great boon to me with backup information and times and making sure I stayed more or less on the straight and narrow. Terrific TT week, brought to a climax today. Pity Moody didn't last to give the big run to Simpson, but Jackson took over the mantle and almost did it. It's been a tough fortnight for everyone. Let's pay tribute to the clerk of the course and to his deputies. They've had a lot of very heart-searching decisions to make. Jack Wood and Neil Hansen were at the front end of that, and I don't envy them. They've put a lot of effort into trying to accommodate everybody's interests. I know the sidecar boys are a bit upset they only got the one race, but they did get double the prize money, and it was worth literally quids to get in as a finisher in the second race. So, from the team down here in the top paddock, myself, Jeff Cannell, and Tim O'Hanlon, we now return you to Peter Neal.
Thank you, Jeff. And the garlanding ceremony, I'm sure, will be taking place shortly. A lot of interest, obviously, in the holding area or the presentation area where the riders are taken, the first three. So while we wait for that, perhaps we can have a look at the final leaderboard, the 15. First, number 3, Ian Simpson. Second, number 5, Bob Jackson. Third, number 2, James Courtney. Fourth, number 8, David Jeffries. Fifth, number 12, Jason Griffiths. Sixth, number 6, Nigel Davies. Seventh, number 25, Paul Deadman. Eighth, number 10, Sean Harris on the 250. Ninth, number 38, Dennis Winterbottom. In 10th place, number 37, Alan Benalik. 11th, number 26, Derek Lloyd. 12th, number 31, and that's 31. 13th place for number 4, and that was Michael Rutter. 13th place equal, number 49, and that was Brian Gardner. And 15th was number 27, and that is Richard Britton.